off the cloud?
On an island, it seems like a more simpler time. Shelter, food, enjoying the sun. Life was a lot more simpler then, a lot happier then.
Tell me more about it. What else do you see in this island?
Looks more aboriginal, maybe something on those sort of lines. We all work together as a unit.
So are there things or people that you see in this island? What do you see?
Very simple way of living. Lived off the land, fished, used the fruits.
So is it people that you're observing?
I'm actually one of the fishermen.
How does your body feel? You feel like young or old, healthy?
Feel young, feel healthy, feel strong.
And you're fishing the fishes?
Carefree, yes. With a net that was made.
Are you on a boat or something, on a structure?
No, we're on the water's edge.
On the water's edge. Who's with you?
I'm there by myself. And the rest of people are further inland.
Do you feel a sense of belonging there? Do you live nearby?
You're part of a family. A family unit. Everyone has a role, and life was simple.
What is your role?
Today my role is to fish, to bring home some food.
And just for your family or for the whole community or tribe?
For the whole tribe.
For the whole tribe. Staying in this scene that you're observing, just moving in the same scene when something important is happening or something relevant for you. On the count of 3, moving to a moment in this scene that you're observing where something important is happening. 3, allowing to move to that important moment. 2, moving, allow the images to come. And 1, be there now. What is happening? What do you see?
The importance of the family unit. How important it is to keep the unit together and to be strong and to understand that each role is so important, to understand your value, your significance within the family unit, but within the tribe too.
And is a sense that you have from observing the scene, or there is something that is happening that is giving you?
I'm within a family unit. I'm with a wife, and we have a young baby, and we accept our roles exactly as they are, without exception.
Is everyone aware of the roles that they have?
The roles are very similar throughout the tribe. The men build and go out and capture the food, and the women hold the community together and keep the tribe
How does it do that?
unit as one. They all have very good relationships with one another. They're all very helpful to one another. There doesn't seem to be any jealousy or ego involved.
Like good unity and support and reciprocity within the tribe?
Yes, there is. The elder ones tend to lead the younger ones, and the elder ones in the tribe understand that the younger ones will make mistakes, but this seems to be a huge amount of respect held towards the elders, and the elders also come from a place of kindness and open-hearted, and the intention is very different to what we have here.
Beautiful. And so the elderly retain the knowledge and they share it with the rest of the tribe? Can you tell more about that?
The knowledge is passed on from person to person till eventually you become an elder yourself.
Beautiful. Now we're going to leave this scene and move forward to another important moment in this life that you were just observing. I'm going to count from 3 back to 1, allowing you to shift and move to another important scene, a moment that you retain to be important. 3, taking a deeper breath, moving and shifting there now. 2, allowing the information to come in this other scene that is important for you. And 1, be there now. What is happening?
Egypt.
Egypt.
Sitting on a golden chair on top of a pyramid.
At the very top of the pyramid.
Top of the pyramid is flat, it's not at a point.
So the point is not there?
No.
And you're sitting just on the plane surface at the top of the pyramid?
Yes.
What else can you see around you? Are there other pyramids?
Larger than a human being.
You are?
Tall, thin, dark-skinned, wearing a mixture of gold and white material.
Does the body feel like human or different?
It doesn't feel human. It looks human but doesn't feel human.
Are there others like you? If you look around or just tap into the knowledge?
Seems there are few pyramids like this. We're watching.
You're watching?
Yes.
So what is your role there?
We're watching the planets and we're watching the stars. We can see when anyone enters the orbit of this planet, we can see out into the stars, into the universe.
What is the correlation between the stars and what you see in the universe with the pyramid or the land where you're observing in?
We are based on the north and the south pole, east and west.
Is that where you come from?
3, 4, 5, 6 points on the earth where we have the watches.
Do you have a name as a group?
Just the watches.
So what is the correlation between the stars or the universe and then the pyramid? Is there a correlation?
We're there to protect the planet from invasion.
To protect the planet from invasion? Are you still on top of the pyramid observing?
We sit there forever We don't move.
Mm.
We sit on these chairs observing the planet. We're not really concerned with what is happening at the ground level. It's more of a feel for the planet and a feel for the energy outside of the planet.
Mm-hmm. And do you report to anyone what you see?
No, we are just tasked, and we are to uphold the task. Our task is also to transmute negativity amongst the people.
Mm-hmm. How do you do that? Tell me more.
The energy is sourced. We can see the energy rising from the earth, from the particular beings, and then we take it and we transmute it. We don't stop it. That's not the role. The role is allow, but we transmute it so it no longer lingers and passes on to another.
And are people aware that you're doing that? Can they see you or sense you in any way?
They don't understand our role, and it's not their job to understand our role. Our job is to watch.
But can they see you?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the sensation? Is there a sense of reference? Do they refer to you in any way? Are they aware of you? Can they come or speak with you? Or just sort of separate?
No, they don't come and speak to us. They are aware we're there, but we don't have communication with them. It's not our role.
Good. So look around you and use all the other senses that you have in this scene, and notice if there's anything important for you to notice, to be aware of.
The protection of one's planet is very important.
Protection. Against what, for example?
Protection from the inhabitants and protection from outside sources is very similar to this planet itself. There doesn't seem to be a protection not only amongst yourselves but also from outside forces.
And is that why your role is to watch? To make sure that everything is okay?
It was to help us to train, to become watchers, to understand the significance and importance of how one negativity can lead and attach to others and become infectious amongst the consciousness. Our job was to transmute it, to create a sense of joy and a place to create from. We as watchers, there's 8 of us, we all can combine our energy, our knowledge, our frequency. It almost becomes like a shield when we combine our consciousness together to protect the planet from any outside forces. And there are many who try to penetrate this particular planet, to dominate it, to control it, but we protect this planet from invasion, from outside forces that are negative. This is our role. Nothing can penetrate. Once our consciousness melds together, we create a layer of a shield almost, where it covers the whole planet and stops from any invaders invading, wishing to control or take the resources of this planet. That is our role. Our role is not to be concerned with what is happening amongst the inhabitants. Our role is to watch and protect.
Good. And in that shield of protection, was that something that was built on later, as you first were trained to watch, or was there before? Did the protection shield came second?
The protection shield is within us as watchers, and we activate it by melding our consciousness together to protect the planet. This is not Earth, this is another planet altogether, which looks very much like Egypt, and the inhabitants look like Egypt, but
it feels like a different planet.
It is a different planet. It's not the same planet. It's in a different part of the universe.
And in what way can this be relevant for Earth or for humans?
I think, bear with me. I'm feeling a surge of energy through the body. Just bear with me.
Allow yourself to feel it. You can share what's happening or what is changing.
I'm spinning right now.
You're spinning?
Yes.
And have you changed form?
I am somewhere else. I am not where I am anymore.
What do you see or feel around you now?
I am in space, in the universe right now. I'm just waiting for things to stop.
What are you waiting to stop?
The spinning.
Does it ever stop spinning? Would you go into stillness?
It will.
Is that something that just happened, or is there someone that decides when it is spinning and when it is stop?
No, it looks like I'm being taken somewhere else. So I'm in space. I see this mist. It looks like a star, almost ruby-like. I'm not sure how relevant that is.
A star, ruby-like. And is that in space?
Yes.
How close or far from the star are you?
About 50 meters.
Okay. Do you feel physical in any way?
Consciousness, no body.
Consciousness. Do you see any other color or any significance in this red ruby star?
No. I don't understand the significance. Does it make sense?
It's okay, it doesn't have to. As you keep allowing yourself to be in the same, information will keep coming. Do you notice anything moving around you?
Still spinning.
Still spinning. Can you tell more about that? What does it work, or it is like?
My consciousness is like this. And then sometimes it's like a clock. I'm just waiting for it to stop.
And does it has this that is spinning? Does it has any physical limit, any boundary, or is intertwined with everything else?
I'm unsure.
What would it take it to stop?
I think I need to surrender to it. It's affecting this physical body.
So take a deeper breath. And we're going to move forward to something important that you need to see or to experience. I'm going to count 3, back to 1, and at 1 you're going to be experiencing something different with your physical body being nice, safe, protected. 3, starting to move to another scene with information important to you. 2, allow the information to come, see what you see, and 1, be there now. What has changed? Where are you?
Through a vortex. And stop.
Through a vortex?
Yeah, out into what looks like space.
Do you have the same sensation as before, or does it feel a different area of the space?
Feels different, doesn't feel the same. Feels quieter.
What else do you see that is different than the other one? And anything that you notice here? Movement, sound, colors, other beings.
Nothingness. There's nothing here. It's black, it's dark. There's no stars. There's nothing here.
Just darkness.
Yes.
How does it feel to be there?
I like the silence.
So it's a calm type of silence?
I think some may be perturbed by it, but I like it.
Do you have a sense of knowing where you are as you're bathing into this silence?
I feel like it's the unknown universe.
What else can you notice? Any other presence? Something else or someone else that you can recognize? Tell us more about that.
It's quantum space. Okay, I know where I am now.
Quantum space.
Gods are perpetually creating. It's something that is just is not something that they can stop. So there has to be a space where gods can be without creation, and this is what we call the quantum space. A space where gods don't create and just be, and this is where we are. Almost like a meeting room or the local canteen where you would meet your friends.
So, and allow to rest and recover in between creation?
No, there's no such thing as rest and recover. It's more to do with collaboration with other beings, with other gods.
Other gods from the other universes?
From the quadrant of universes, yes. There is more than one god. There are many, many gods in many different universes. Not one universe, one god, but a quadrant of universes. Trillions upon trillions upon trillions. It would be a quadrant. This knowledge is not known, is not freely understood or given. It is accessible for those who are high vibration and understand the nature of a god.
And who are these beings?
They're god beings. They're in their god forms. They can choose to represent in a human form or a non-human form, or in a form of light, or in a form of consciousness itself. It's very individualistic in regards to how they want to be perceived, but the frequency is the same. Each god recognizes each other to do with the frequency of that God. Everyone and everything has a frequency in the universe. The frequency is the signature of your soul.
Very fascinating. And how does one becomes a god? How do these beings evolve to God's state?
You have to be very old. And I understand that many of you will be thinking old as in age, but it's not to do with age. This is to do with creation and how much you have created with yourself, but with others too. Collaboration is so important. Creation is not, being a god is not just about creation, it's also about being able to create where others have their own creations, where you can also be a part of that creation. If we're trying to find a way to explain how this really works. So if you can think of yourself as a creator being top of the pyramid, and then you co-create towards the bottom, and as you go further down, there are more and more beings and universes you will create with, and it just continues, it just doesn't stop. But if you also can see that it will come back up to you, so the information and the creation experience is not just a linear one, it is one that's free-flowing in both directions.
Thank you. Is there a correlation with space? Or not really? How would you share about that?
Please explain what you mean by space.
In time, does everything happens at the same, all these experiences, all the co-creation, how does the concept of time that humans know linearly, how can that be rendered in this space where you are?
It cannot. You're expecting to understand the concept of no time in linear time, and that cannot be done from the perspective of linear time. It has to be done from a perspective of no time. There is no time. Time was created here in order to limit your experience, to give it a beginning, a middle, and end. It is something that humans and humanity have chosen consciously to experience. Hence why the human life is short. It doesn't have to be short.
The all is here and all is now.
Please explain.
Everything happens at the same time if there is no time?
Correct. Yes. Everything happens all at once. There is no time, there is no waiting.
So in this space of the non-universe where you are, what information, what are you experiencing, or are you conversating with God?
No, I am watching from afar. My job is not to interact, it's just to observe.
And what are you observing?
The interactions between gods.
What do they interact about?
The up-and-coming new creation of light that will be here in this particular quadrant of universe. The discussions are on universes and creation and how far they can co-create to take a particular experience or co-creation. It's always about creation. It's about expansion.
Where does creation was created from?
Do you mean gods, or do you mean how it all came into being?
How all came into being? Everything. If there is no time.
Our knowledge is not complete with this, but the first being into existence was Divine Feminine. And if you've noticed on this planet, if you're a Divine Feminine, how deeply and intricately you are connected to everything. The vastness of your emotional spectrum is deep and thoughtful and creative, and that comes from the first being that came into existence.
Was that planned for it to come into creation?
There's always been male and female energy. Male energy was created. It wasn't the first thing that came into existence. It had to be co-created.
And was there a role for this co-creation, or was just an exploration? How was decided for these roles to be divided between the feminine and the male?
It wasn't a decision, it just is. When you create, like as the creation of humanity, it is not straightforward. There are lots of ups, there are lots of downs, there are lots of things that create that are unexpected, there are lots of things that you create that is expected. So I think it comes to a matter of your consciousness and the awareness of that.
Good, thank you. And in what you are observing, do you recognize God?
Yes.
Would you like to come forth to share messages?
I need to raise the frequency a little bit higher. This is too low.
Allow a moment to breathe through. Allowing the time to go to create through this body here, to raise and adjust the frequency, allowing all the other entities that we see to recede back to where they belong, in peace, in their light, and allowing the consciousness and the personality of Nilesh to come back, integrate into the body. As God Source makes adjustment to the vessel and the frequency. And every breath going deeper and deeper. I count from 5, slowly back to 1. And at 1, the frequency will be ready to allow the messages of what wants to come forth for messages. 5, feeling the breath, surrendering to any adjustment, for perceiving, adapting to any changes. 3, very comfortable, safe, allowing what comes. 2, ready to allow in the messages. And 1, be there now. Do we have permission to take in messages from Source?
Welcome, Pia. I've been waiting for you.
It's my very pleasure. It's beautiful to connect.
It has been some time since we have connected.
When have we last connected?
I believe we have connected last night. Just bear with me while I just adjust this body's frequency.
Adjust all that you have to. He said he hasn't been welcoming you at this level for quite a bit.
It has been some time. Meti's always reluctant. But that's okay.
And do you adjust him? Does he get works on for his vessel to expand?
The human body is very limited to taking God frequency. You have to have another essence, soul, to be able to inhabit and assimilate this particular frequency. And I am a microdrop in this body.
Is there anything that he can do in his human life to facilitate and expand upholding for the frequency?
No, he's doing good.
Mm-hmm. What messages you have to share with everyone?
It's important you ask the questions, Pia. Ask your questions. You have them already. And I believe you've connected with many of our wonderful souls from the House of Heaven. Would you like to share some of your experiences with them?
Father, I very much like you to ask when more vision and the knowledge would be unlocked in this human body. I surely can confirm I felt the experiences, although the body hasn't integrated the full understanding of who and where, other than Pleiadian group or Ashtar Command that may contact later.
Whichever vehicle you choose to incarnate with, Pia, you have to understand that it is a particular perception that you will receive. Sometimes, having this limited human experience, you will only experience through the perception you choose to allow and surrender to experience and achieve. There are many, many perspectives you can choose from. So choose.
Mm-hmm. And if I wanted to remember more of the entities or beings or you when we connect, how can I do that?
I am always with you. You have never been apart from me. You can feel the love in my words. You can feel my energy. I've always been there in the background, watching, observing, giving you love when you required it, wiping away your tears when you're feeling pain and distress and suffering. I see and feel it all with you. You have never been alone. I have been with you always.
You had some fascinating synchronicities and way to sort of guide me back home when I was more lost. I'm first going to ask you, why is it that some people cannot feel as much the sensation of love when they connect with their guides or with God of the angels?
Because the human experience is a very limited one. You see yourselves as limited. You see yourselves as without. You see yourselves as cannot do. We don't see you this way. We see you as complete. We always have seen you as complete. And sometimes it takes many steps to remember that, to assimilate that, to become that, to be that.
Mm-hmm. I also want to ask you, in this human vessel, my name is Federica, so where does Pia come from?
Pia is what I know you as. I am reminding you.
Is that the name of my soul?
This is the name of your nickname. I told Meti about this earlier today. He understands that this is your nickname. Pia is what I know you as.
You mentioned that.
Everyone has a unique connection to me. Every single one of you has a name.
And Father, I'd like to understand more so that I can better help him and others with what you would like for me to help co-create. Who am I and where I come from?
Pia, be a bit more.
Do I carry any fractal with me or any particular part of me?
Which
this
fractal
life?
would you like to engage with? There are many. There's an
Surprise me.
angelic fractal, there's an Arcturian fractal, there's a reptilian fractal, there's also your origins fractal. Which fractal would you like to engage with?
My origin fractal.
Your origins fractal come from a planet, very humanoid in many ways. Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Hawaii. The people of Hawaii, you look like that. You have a film here, a human film called Mona.
Yes, Moana.
Very much your origins, very much where you're from. Samoan is the word, but Hawaii is more where you're based. This is what's more in your soul, what you really connect with. You come from a planet that is very simple. Water, land, planets, sun. There is a sister of planets that surrounds your planet. You are very much connected to the earth.
Very much.
You're very much connected to this planet. You can talk to it, you sing to it, you are one with it.
I feel it. Father, do I have missions to do with Gaia in this lifetime?
Yes, you do.
Would you tell more about that? And now anyone who is listening can also know if they have.
To raise the consciousness of this planet is everyone's mission. Each and every one of you are unique in the way you bring forth your soul to help the frequency rise. For you, there are many ways. You do this many ways. You are sharing your vibrational frequency with everyone that you walk past, you talk to, you don't talk to, ones that you remember, ones that you don't remember. Everything you touch, everything you think, everything you feel is all a form of vibrational frequency. It's all a form of connection. You are learning so much. Learning is a term that many of you use, but actually all you're doing is just remembering. You're just remembering the frequencies.
And it's something that everyone can do. Does the masculine has the same ability to connect with Gaia, or is the experience different?
Just like the divine feminine connects with Gaia, you were born intuitively within the frequency of Gaia. So each and every one of the divine feminine has a direct link to Gaia, because you were born with it as soon as you incarnated as a divine feminine. This was always the agreement with Gaia. The masculine are the protectors of Gaia. It's not always important for them to connect with Gaia in the way that the divine feminine do, but what is important is the protection of this particular planet.
Father, when you had conversations with Wendelish so years ago, they were mentioning about the 5D shift of Gaia and the wars where that was not time to happen yet. Would you like to give us an update? Or what is the situation now?
The consciousness on the planet is raising. It's so wonderful to behold. Each and every one of you are trying so hard, and those of you who are so reluctant to step into the vibrational frequency of awakening.
Why is that? That some people are reluctant to embrace it.
Reluctance is a word that you use. We don't see that. We see it as an experience to be had. A beginning, a middle, and end. You are born. You will have an experience which will take you to the middle of your experience, and your body will die. Your soul is immortal. You cannot be destroyed. You will live forever. You're having an experience, and a particular human one. So live in your experience. If you choose not to be awakened, that is an experience to be had. If you choose to take the vaccine, which many of you have, and it causes harm to your body, that is an experience to be had. Do not think for 1 second that the body was made to be so vulnerable in this way. The soul and the consciousness is far more powerful than you imagine it to be so, and you are awakening to that.
Thank you. Father, what is your understanding of the human body experience? Do you have an understanding of the density of being in the human body?
Yes.
So what would you say to those people that, yes, we understand, and more people are understanding the experience, but what if they would want to experience more? They just don't know how, or they need that extra nudge, or they need an extra sign. But they would be very happy to turn this experience into getting more into raising the frequencies, getting closer to Gaia.
It was never complicated. I think, and I see that complication has occurred because it's been allowed to be filtered into your consciousness.
Can you tell more about that?
I am open, I am allow, and I surrender. And your intuition is something you should trust. There are many of you on this planet who trusted your intuition not to take the vaccine, and as a result, you have not been injured by the vaccine. There are many of you who didn't listen to your intuition and wanted to have the experience of the vaccine, and you've had the vaccine and you've been injured by the vaccine. It is all an experience to have, right the way from a child, a baby dying really young, to an old man living to the ripe old age to 100, to a woman who decides to have children, to another woman who decides not to have a child. These are all experiences to have. You forget that you're very curious. You're very curious beings, you're very curious souls. You would not be content with having just one experience. It would be boring for you. So having many experiences while this particular consciousness allows it to be is important for you to have before the consciousness raises to 5 dimension. It's important to have your experiences. Many of you have had them. It just so is that you do not remember. There are many of you who are remembering, many of you understanding the significance of those experiences. But be in your experience, enjoy your experience. There is a lot of pain, there is a lot of suffering, but there is also the soul and the resilience and the love that you have. So much love and compassion comes out of so many dark places. The soul is strong, it's resilient, it's very giving, it's very loving, it's unique in the way that it was designed.
Father, what would you like to see in us all more of?
I don't have a say in the experience that you're having. That is not my role. My role is to love you unconditionally, unreservedly, without wanting anything in return. To touch the very center, deepness of your soul. To be reminded of the love that I've always had for you, that has always been there, that is strong and powerful, and our connection has never been broken.
It's very powerful, and that can be very felt. You brought up this conversation with information on vaccinations, and I want to ask for people that may be pleased to hear it, whether one choose the experience to have it or not to have it. Can that experience impact with their ability to raise their frequency or ascend, so to say, or it doesn't matter?
Do you believe it to be so?
I think you're so powerful, and through you we can raise the frequency in a way that it doesn't matter.
The question is, Pia, do you believe the vaccination can be limiting to expanding your soul? Yes or no?
No.
And therein lies the solution. Sometimes belief is not enough. You have to remember that you are 3D too.
Mm-hmm.
You have a physical body that also needs tending to. Physical body is the experience you chose to have here as humans on this 3D plane. It wasn't just about having the soul experience. It was also about having a 3D experience. It's a very visceral experience to have. Very coveted experience to have. There are many who would love to be on this planet incarnating. Many of your cousins, many of your relatives would choose to be here to have the human experience. It's unique. Many of you don't realize that. Many of you are so involved in your experience, which I love and adore, that you have forgotten about how unique and how wonderful it is to be experiencing the pain, the suffering, the silence, the love, the joy,
Mm-hmm.
the laughter, the peace. All of these are experiences, and many of you can have them all in one lifetime.
Father, what is the correlation between the lessons? First of all, is it true that before we incarnate in the human body, there's sort of a plan? So there might be missions, the lesson that we need to learn. Is that true?
Many of you have decided with your soul family to discuss what roles you are going to play. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the best way I can help you to understand would be your gaming world. You can pick out your players. You can pick out your hair, your skin, the clothes you wear, what tools you would like to take. You can choose the character, whether you're going to be male or female in this particular experience. You can choose whether you're going to be happy, whether you're going to be sad, whether you're going to be inflicted, whether you're going to suffer, whether you're going to have pain. What is it you want to learn? Do you want to learn about love, or we will teach you about love? Your guides will help you to plumb the depths of love, so deep, so profound, that it actually changes the very soul of who you are. This is the wonder of the human experience that you have. Hence why so many wish to be here. Do you not understand how privileged, how honoured, how lucky you are? even in your pain, even in your suffering, to have those feelings. Many of your cousins, many of your relatives, you have many names for them: Palladians, Arcturians, Avians, Reptilians. Do you not think for one moment they would love to feel the spectrum of every human emotion?
So the emotions are just a feature that comes with the human experience.
They are the gift. The gift that you designed it to be so.
And Father, if one wants to experience something different, or as many people refer to, change their contracts, how can they do? Is it sufficient just to set the intention, or how can this happen?
Die. The answer is simple. It does not need to be complicated. You end your human body and then you start again. You have to understand that when you first started out, you cannot change the contract that you had. You chose to have an experience from a perspective of wanting to understand and explore more of your soul, whether it was to understand more about love, joy, laughter, pain, suffering, whether it was abandonment. Whatever experience you chose to have, you can have in the human emotional experience. This is exactly what it was designed for. If you choose to have another experience, end the game, start again. But I implore you to finish. You will not be happy to have an experience that was unfinished. You would be disappointed within yourself. When you leave the confines of the human condition, you are complete. And when you are complete, you understand everything. There is nothing that is hidden from you in that particular consciousness. And when you have that understanding, you will also be disappointed that you did not complete the mission, the intention, the experience that you chose to have. Is it hard? Yes. Is it difficult? Yes. Is it painful? Yes. Are there going to be moments where it's going to bring you down to your knees? Yes.
Father, I want to ask you, I can relate to this feeling of frustration, like if projecting, imagining that this life would have happened. Let's zoom in one human experience. Say, for example, me in this human body. If I would have to think I would die tomorrow, I would be very disappointed, because there was that little seed that I could always feel from within, even not understanding that there was more to expand. And I haven't done it as much. So I understand that frustration. When we mention contract, isn't that true that we also have small contracts? So for example, we may choose to be in a relationship with someone or not, or to help someone cross the street, or to take a job. Are those ones small contracts that we can change?
There are certain things in your contracts that are big things that you've chosen to experience. They cannot be changed because you set them in stone. So those particular milestones or experiences that you chose to have cannot be changed. But the peripheries, yes, they can be changed to make your journey easier, to understand that every stepping stone you take is supported, is loved, is cared for, is understood, and is watched. You are seen by so many, all the eyes of the universe. This particular universe is on Earth, as it should be. The time is coming.
Are we going towards changes?
The time is coming for the glory of humanity to be really understood and known amongst this universe. There are many, many different beings who have taken on many attributes of the humanness that each and every one of you display. Do you not see how important you experiencing, displaying, and allowing others to view your experience is so valuable. No amount of gold, silver, money, crypto can replace the human experience. Each and every one of you are very, very powerful. You are made this way. There are no exceptions to that. The human experience is the exception.
Father, this one, Elesh, is very connected with you and you have conversations frequently. For other people that are not so able to recognize the conversation, what can they do to better enhance the communication with their guides or with their intuition or with yourself?
Breathe. I am open. I allow. I surrender.
So to connect via the breath, the intention, asking to allow and surrender to what comes.
You can call me by name.
Mm-hmm.
God, I wish to connect with you. God, I wish to feel your love. God, I really need you right now. I hear all of you. Every single one. I feel your pain. I feel your suffering. I feel your joy. I feel your laughter. I am with you with every moment. I will not take away your experience. You must understand this. When you ask me to take away your suffering, I will not take it away. Not because I don't love you, not because I don't adore you, not because I don't care for you, not because I don't feel everything you're going through. It's because I know and I believe that you alone can do this, that you alone can surpass the pain, the suffering, the difficulties you're going through. You already have the tools. You just need to believe. And if you choose to leave the experience, then come home. Come home. I'm waiting for you.
Open your arms. Father, you said you're, as creator, you're in consultation, or you're open and welcoming ideas to bounce off and back. So you're true, as the creator, going to consultation. So are you open to co-creating and conversating with us?
We already are. Did you not know, Pia?
I know, and I'm going somewhere with this, which is you love us, and as a daughter, I'm going to ask you, thank you for allowing us all to experience what we choose to experience. But in the moments when we call for you, and the thickness, the density of the human experience of the physical body, of anything that we're surrounded by, make it so that we cannot quite hear or see you or feel you. Can you make yourself more visible or give yourself more nudges?
I am visible to you in more ways than you choose to perceive. Many of you feel that the one true connection is the connection you see here before you. That is not the only way I connect with you. Do I not connect with you with a piece of chocolate? Mm-hmm. Do I not connect with you when you are walking in nature? Even in your darkest moments, when you are on your knees and you are in pain and suffering and there are tears and distress, am I not with you then? Is there not someone I will send to you to comfort you, to help you, to guide you during your hardest and most difficult times? Is there not the softness of the sheets, the smell of a perfume, the smell of a particular type of food you may enjoy, or a memory that I've sent and reminded you of, or a particular quote that you had forgotten and you needed to be reminded?
The power of the presence in every single thing.
I am everywhere, I am everything. all at once. There is no separation from the paint on the walls, to the dirt on the floor, to the birds in the sky, to the stars in the space, to the gravel on the pavement, to the smell on the wind, to the sea air, to the food that you eat and the food that you don't eat, to the interaction you have with another human being. There is God in everything you think, you say, you hear, you feel, and you do.
Thank you. Very beautiful. In terms of the 5D, how are we positioned in comparison to the previous conversation? What can people know today? How Gaia is doing in regards to the 5D shift?
What humanity needs to understand is that there is many disturbances on the planet. Some of it's created by humans, or non-humans as you would call them, with technology, and some of it's been created by Gaia itself. Gaia's consciousness is slowly being trickled to 5D. One of the ways I can help you to understand is if there is a tap that is closed but still dripping at a very, very slow rate. Her consciousness is moving from 3D to 5D as it should. Once that consciousness has completely moved over to 5D, everything will die on this planet, including you. There will be many who choose to stay right to the end. Meti will be one. There are many others, the angelics. I expect many of them to stay, and they will be staying right to the end. Their job will be to help those who want to transition from 3D to 5D, or back home, or just on to wherever they choose to be, but they will not be able to stay on this planet. It will be inhabitable.
And if one had set to go or to remain, can that be changed or not?
To remain on this particular experience, no, that'll change. Not because we will it to be so, because you will it to be so. You have experienced every possible permutation that can be experienced as a human being. There is nothing more to experience. Do not have these feelings, and I know many of you do. This is why I bring it up, that you have done this, that you're not making anything new, you're not creating anything new. It just feels like you're repeating yourselves. Do you not feel you've had this feeling within yourselves? And that has become more and more prominent as your linear time moves forward. Because many of you have. Everything that has been experienced, can be experienced, is experienced, has been done with this particular experience.
And hence there would be the time to move on.
Humanity has chosen 5D. We don't choose what you want to experience. As a father to his children, we allow you the freedom to experience exactly what your soul needs to experience. The whole purpose of this is to create and expand your creations.
Father, as many humans will be listening to this video, if you would have to put it in a time frame understandable by the humans, when would this occur?
Humans are many of you so preoccupied with time. It's not set in time, it is set in vibration. It is set in your consciousness. The quicker you move to 5D will be the quicker you move into a 5D consciousness. What does a 5D consciousness look like? Many of you will now be experiencing, those of you who have animals or pets, as you call them,
Mm-hmm.
you will be able to communicate with them telepathically. That has not been able to happen before, but is happening now. And Meti, this one, communicates with his animals telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he uses human words. Many of the times he conveys exactly his intention telepathically. And many of you are doing that too. I see it. This is the progress many of you have made in your human 3D experience. This is the progression from 3D to 4D to 5D. 4D has already been experienced by humanity. That's why it does not need to be experienced again. Hence why 5D is your destination.
Father, for those who are not familiar with the dimension, would you like to give a brief understanding of the feature with the 3D, the 4D and the 5D?
You have 12 dimensions in this particular realm.
Mm-hmm.
13th dimension is being created when human consciousness reaches 5D. Energy is created. It cannot be destroyed. Many of you know this.
Mm-hmm.
3D is exactly the experience you are having, or have many of you have had, which is everything's visceral. You can feel it, touch it, taste it, hear it. Your creational ability has been somewhat dampened in this particular realm, and it's been dampened deliberately. It's been helping many of you to get back to being complete in many ways, to be able to use telepathy to communicate with one another, to communicate with your animals, your pets, to communicate with nature. That is one of the gifts of 5D, to be able to communicate with the wind, to be able to communicate with the blade of grass. I see many of you laughing. Yes, it's funny. But this is the experience you chose to have in 5D. 5D is a jump to a different consciousness level.
So you're saying, Father, some are already at that level?
There are many of you already vibrating at that level.
Mm-hmm.
There are many of you already in 5D. You are not here. If you're in 5D, you would know it. If you're still here, then hey, you're not in 5D.
Okay, so the change would be surely perceived.
Yes.
Although even those are here can experience a raise in their frequency.
Yes. You are learning, you are practicing, you are honing in your skills to prepare yourself to be ready for 5D. So you are practicing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Energies, chakras, meridian lines, acupuncture points, food, touch, emotion, control. All these things are part of 5D. You're practicing with fine-tuning your abilities to use telepathy, to manipulate your body. Have you noticed many of you are changing your physicality?
Mm-hmm.
You no longer look the same. You no longer feel the same. How many of you have been told you're different? You don't seem the same. How you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago. You're all changing. It's all happening as it should be. For those of you who will allow and surrender, you will fulfill the contract that you set up to fulfill and experience. You will fulfill that. For those of you who don't, that's okay too. You will experience exactly what you need to experience, and then you will choose to move on or be somewhere else.
When the physical experience in this body will finish, will then incarnation on Gaia will not be possible anymore when...
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so then the option would be either transition to 5D or other universe or come back with you?
The human experience will continue into 5D.
Mm.
What you have to understand is when humanity's consciousness was first created, it was asked what it wanted to experience. So here in the 3D world is contrast, light, dark, up, down, left, right, stop, go, love, hate, envy, jealousy, kindness, pride, joy, and happiness. Many different ends of the scale you can experience, and you can experience happiness and pain and suffering on many minute scales. And you chose to have this experience. In 5D there will be no pain, there will be no suffering, it will be expansion of the creative consciousness that is human.
So this one, it's wonderful Nilesh, that is representing, is welcoming the incarnation of a fractal of Metatron. You have sent him to stay till the end, is that right?
Yes, Metatron has a task which I have set him. The task has always been from the beginning. Many of you felt alone and abandoned, and many of you felt that there was no hope. A lot of the angelics have been here from the beginning, and Meti is one. Yeshua is another. Halel is another. Michael is another. Many of the angelics have been here from time, from the beginning of time.
What is the difference between them and the people that carry with them a drop of angelic or feature of the angelic?
Everyone has angelic inside of them, for you are created through me, by me. So it's about taking the time and energy to tap into it. Meti's role is different. It's not the same. Same as Halel's role. It is different. It was set out from the beginning. The purpose of Meti's role was to be here, to just let humanity know that they were not alone, they hadn't been abandoned, and that God is always with them, within them, to help you find the significance of that. If you notice, Meti will not channel for you, he will help you to channel yourself, because he believes that's just as much as the ability is there within him, it's also a reflection that the ability is there within you.
And he's present in this body, in the body of Nilesh. You say they're gonna be he till the end. Are we referring to this current lifetime?
Yes.
Is there gonna be another?
Meti has chosen, well, he doesn't really have a choice. Meti already has his next task, his next role. You have to understand that he chose the vehicle of Metatron to incarnate on this planet in this particular incarnation at this particular time, because it's needed, it's required when he moves on to his next job that I have for him. Because job is the only word you understand. What we mean is he is in service and has always been in service. He was taken a long time ago. Enoch. He was taken.
Wow.
And he was changed. And he's been in service.
In what
since
way
time.
was changed?
He was taken from his human form. He was taken by me because the purity of heart that Enoch showed was unrivaled, unsurpassed, and with that I changed him into what Metatron is today. Metatron has the power of God. Gabriel is the voice of God. Michael, would you like to have a guess which part of God Michael has?
The power of protection?
Close. The bravery and the courage of God. Each one of these angelics are an aspect of God. They have been imbued with that aspect of God. So when they are incarnated, wherever they need to be incarnated, they can display that particular aspect of God to remind you, to be reminded of the divinity of the aspect of God within you. If you needed to be brave for a particular experience you were having, you had lost your child, you had lost your wife, your husband, your mother, and your father, and you had great difficulty in allowing that pain and suffering to let it be a part of you so you can overcome it. Michael will be there for you to give you courage, to allow you to be brave, to move to the next step, to move beyond the pain and suffering and the experience that you're having. And this is where linear time is your friend.
Father, you have been communicating with Nlesh, nudging him to do this experience again.
Yes.
Was there any particular reason in this timing of why this is important now?
We were looking for the right fit here. It is very important that we find the right vibrational frequency for these messages to come forth. The frequency you're feeling now is deep, but we are going to go much deeper than this. The more sessions you do, the more you practice, the more you walk through connecting to the deeper part of the soul, the more will be revealed.
How long ago was this intention made of pairing us together, and why?
Before you incarnated, Pia.
Is this one of the reasons why you brought me to Sydney?
Everything is done within divine timing. Many of you also are struggling with finding your soulmate or your divine counterpart. You included, Pia.
Father, you're coming to this topic just at the right time. You've mentioned twin flame connection. Is there a correlation between twin flame connection, if they reunite, with the ascension of Gaia?
We have to do specifics, Pia.
Mm-hmm.
Specifics are twin flame has a different vibrational frequency and divine counterpart has a different vibrational frequency.
Could you explain that to people?
And then soulmate has a different frequency. A soulmate is on a very basic level of connection. You see each other, you have a connection with one another, it stirs the soul, and you are both attracted to one another, hence you come together and you have an experience. The experience that you have will be very 3D, and you will do and have the experience of a 3D experience, whether that'll be being in a partnership together, having a family together, and playing out your role within that particular 3D experience. Many of you would have played out the wife, the husband, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the mother, the father, the brother, the sister. Those are the experiences you would have as a soulmate. Twin flame, as you call them, they are very disruptive. They are there to push and pull you out of your soul mate experience.
To some that say that twin flames are karmic connection, what would you say?
It can be intertwined with karma that you've had with a particular soul being. You have to remember that this particular incarnation you've had is one of trillions. It's not one of one. So there would be history with every single person you come into contact with. The ones that are in your family are the ones you have chosen to incarnate time and time and time and time again. They are familiar to you, not in the role that they play out, but they're familiar to you in the vibrational frequency that they hold. You recognize their vibrational signature.
Yes.
That's how you would recognize one another. That also interacts with the twin flame. I love you enough to watch you and be with you and stand by you when you are going through your pain, your suffering, your distress. I won't take it away from you because you are powerful enough and strong enough to get through this, because I know you can. I created you. Twin flame is similar in some ways. They will push, they will pull you, they will push your buttons and take you to the brink of understanding yourself. If you are too compliant, your twin flame will continue to push, continue to demand, continue to control, until you learn to find the soul within you to stand up and say, no, I am divine, I am pure, I am a soul, I will not accept this from you anymore. I choose not to have this experience with you. And so the control has changed hands now. You are now in control, and the perpetrator is no longer in control. But understand, this perpetrator is from your soul family. If you love someone so deeply that you're prepared to play out the villain, the perpetrator, so you can expand your consciousness, so you can expand your being, your 3D-ness, to help you to stand more in the knowingness of your power, of who you really are, and who you really choose to become, and who you are becoming. Is that a gift, or is it a curse? Only the wise will know.
It's a deep experience of learning.
The experience of remembering, Pia. Remembering how strong you are as a soul. There is no exception to that. You are not weak. You are not alone. You are made complete. It's about remembering that from the soul within. You are not going to find that outside of yourself. Will you receive prompts as you are doing today, Pia? Yes. Whether it's done through words or whether it's done through action or emotion or love.
Father, is there anything else that you want to share in regards to connections for people that is important to know? Like some people say, twin flame connection is only the divine masculine and feminine within the person, and others experience in one incarnation to actually have that counterpart divided and incarnated like part of the same soul in another body.
Your twin flame already incarnated to help you to expand more of your consciousness so you can become the entirety of the soul that you are. It will be push and pull. Not only will you be the victim, you will also be the perpetrator. You will also be the observer. Divine counterpart connection is not a twin flame connection. It is an understanding of exactly who you are, exactly the soul that you are, and what you offer. This is not superficial, it is a deep, profound understanding. You will understand that divine counterparts seek out peace. Many of them live in that particular vibrational frequency, the vibrational frequency of peace. Love is only the next one. That's higher than peace.
Yes. The last question on this topic today was, so does everyone that is incarnated in a body on earth has a twin flame incarnated in a physical body?
If you choose to experience it. Do you remember your contract?
I do not remember my contract. I very much know and have awareness of my twin flame in this life, but many people don't, and they wonder whether they do have one incarnated in the body or not, whether it is true that they only have to look within themselves and look at that balance between their feminine and masculine within.
The twin flame that you refer to as already incarnated, if it was agreed in the original contract for this particular lifetime. If it was not agreed, then it will not appear for you because you chose not to have it. You have to also understand what that means. It means when you meld two vibrational frequencies that are almost of equal match, the creational intention and ability is amplified. Some of you have chosen to walk this path alone, not because you are weak, and not because you are undeserving, and not because you don't want love, is because you've chosen to seek out the warrior within. You have chosen to seek out the strength within. You have chosen to seek out all that is you within, without the interference of another. Do you understand that those who walk alone choose to walk alone, to understand more of themselves as a soul, so when they move on from this particular experience, they will be stronger as a soul, wiser as a soul, more experienced as a soul. It is another experience to be had. Those of you who seek companionship is also another experience to have. What it's like to collaborate with one who has a similar vibrational frequency to yours, and how you can lift each other up during the times that this earth is experiencing right now. It does help. You have to understand that the experiences you chose is in your original contract. It is within your soul. Seek out your original contract. It's very simple. Shall I show you?
Please. I would love you to.
Pia, I want you to repeat after me. First, I want you to take 7 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And with every breath, I want you to let go of the tension you're feeling right now in your shoulders. I want you to let go of the excitement you're feeling right now in your stomach. I want you to let go of the expectation you are feeling. Let go of everything. Allow your body just to relax. Let go of the tension in your shoulders and your neck. Allow your shoulders to drop. That's it. I feel many of you doing this. Good. Now I want you to repeat these words. But before you repeat these words, open your heart here. the heart that is you, the love that is you, the purity that's always been you. Open up your heart and allow. Open up your heart wider, Pia.
I'm trying.
There is no need to be afraid. I feel your reluctance. Let go. You are safe. Nothing can harm you. This realm has already been protected. Good. And I want you to repeat these words. I am open.
I am open.
I want you to try again, Pia. I want you to really feel it from your heart. Use your heart to say these words. I am open.
I am open.
Good. I am open.
I am open.
I am open.
I am open.
I allow.
I allow.
I allow.
I allow.
I allow.
I allow.
Good. I surrender.
I surrender.
I surrender.
I surrender.
I surrender.
I surrender.
Good. Now ask the question to your soul. Show me the contract that I made before I incarnated.
Show me the contract. Allow me to know the contract that I made before incarnated.
Repeat the same words over and over again until you see it in your mind's eye. You're dropping your vibration. Let me raise your vibration up a little bit. Speak out aloud the contract, the words you are using to help those who are watching and observing.
Allow me to know the contract. Allow me to know the contract. Allow me to know the contract.
Slowly, deliberately, with intention, allow me to see my contract. Allow me.
Allow me to see my contract.
Good. Slower.
Allow me to see the contract.
Good. Again.
Allow me to see the contract.
My contract.
My contract.
Allow me to see my contract.
Allow me to see my contract.
Good. Again.
Allow me to see my contract.
Again.
Allow me to see my contract.
With intention, with love.
And try my best, Father, to tune you in. Father, if I ask your help to know the contract, will you help me?
Let us see. What is it you wish to know?
If we had set to reunite and if we had any mission that was helpful for Gaia, for the collective, because that's what I have been sensing.
Yes. There will be a moment when you unite, when you will both reunite. I see. But you're both working on your vibrational frequency. There is much you still need to work on, and there is much that he needs to work on. And so, until you have reached a certain level of vibrational frequency, the meeting cannot occur, because this is what you both agreed. You both agreed to reach a certain level of frequency before you would meet. The meeting would be instantaneous. As you reach further up the vibrational frequency, you will automatically be brought closer and closer together.
Father, is this something that the two have to do individually, or if one puts in more work from their heart to raise the frequency, it would also affect the other counterpart?
This one had to wait 10 years before the frequency of Ush was free and raised enough for them to meet. And it happened instantaneously. Both were guided. The meeting was going to happen, as you will be too. Sometimes one reaches the vibrational frequency quicker and the other one lags behind.
Mm-hmm.
And so one has to be patient and allow the other one to reach the frequency and trust that they will reach the frequency in linear time as they choose.
And even those who are in separation, where there is no communication at all, do they also receive the signs and the synchronicities and the dreams?
Again, this is really down to the contract of the human experience you wanted to experience.
Mm-hmm.
There are some of you who wanted to be aware that your divine counterpart or your twin flame or your soulmate you wanted to know about the stepping stones of vibrational frequency and when you were going to meet, and that was revealed to you because it was written already in your contract with intention.
Mm-hmm.
And there are those of you who didn't want to experience that. What you wanted to experience is the bang, the rush, the meeting of vibrational frequencies from across the room. Some of you are still so romantic.
It's so beautiful, Father, to see Nilesh in this body now united with this counterpart. They are so beautiful together. The frequencies are such a gift to witness.
Yes. Do you see the cohesiveness of how easy it is between them? The ebb and flow of frequency, of love, of understanding, without wanting reassurance.
Yes, very much. And so has this union also affected Nilesh in this body?
It helps both souls to expand. What you are missing is that they are both on their own individual journey. It is not about intertwining the paths. It's about the experience you are having with each other, side by side,
Mm-hmm.
with the divinity within you, and the assurance that each of you will complete your mission as you contracted to me. So with that in mind, one does not seek to change or to divert the other from their path, because that would not be in divine.
Yes.
Do you see the difference in connection?
I see, I understand the difference, Father, thank you.
Twin flame would be to help you to understand more aspects of your personality through emotion and help shore up where you are vulnerable. divine counterpart is you already are, therefore you just be. And that's it.
So when you say that in this body, what also Nilesh with Metatron had to do is to stand tall, to allow his frequency to reach people. When he's nearby other people of similar frequencies, whether angelic or his counterpart,
Yes.
what happens to the frequencies?
The frequency that Metatron emits is a high frequency. The frequency is pure. It does not have intention behind it. It is just given. And it's given imbued with love. The soul frequency you will take on, and you will use that frequency almost like clay to mold it into what you need at this particular moment in your linear time and journey as a human being. Angelics give frequency to help you to expand more of your awareness and consciousness, because that is their role. Their role is not to change you, it's not to manipulate you, it's not to direct you, it's to give frequency so you can come to that conclusion yourself. We, in the realm of heaven, do not see the lack that you see. We see you beautiful, unique, complete, strong. Therefore, no intervention is required from us. There are many of you are stuck, and we will unstick you.
Thank you.
So you may continue on your journey. We do not have a say of how much suffering you should experience, or how much joy you should experience, or how much love you should experience. That was set out by you before you incarnated. The contract that you have is easily accessible to you. It's within your soul. Ask your guides to help you. You can ask me to help you. But in order for me to help you, you have to unguard your heart, Pia. Locking it up in prison is not the way I designed you to be. And so it's important to me that you experience the spectrum of all that is.
Thank you, Father. I will keep trying, and this is where sometimes we get so sort of lost with the density of the body. That is, one is neither aware that the heart is locking and may think that it's doing so much to be open, and yet there's always another layer, and there's always another layer. Father, you asked me to take care of Nilesh today, so I want to check on the human body. As you check and scan his whole body, how is he doing? Do we have time for a few more questions?
Metatron and this body is doing well. It's capable of holding a very minute drop of the frequency of God. Any more and I would damage it. So yes, we have much time as you would like.
Thank you. When you asked me to take care of him, you said it was beneficial for him to review a few other lives. What did you want him to see or to experience?
Sometimes the experiences that I have shown him today is sometimes we forget the very basic human condition to love, to enjoy the smallest of things, the air, the sand on his feet, the sea, the sun, the sky, the stars, the flowers, the food. We become so consumed sometimes with the raising of vibration, we forget to just take a step back and enjoy the present moment, the here and now. But also, many of you are not very good at taking stock of where you were.
Very guilty of that.
Yes, Pia.
And when you, please go ahead.
Hence why I mentioned it. There are many of you who have come so far on your journey. Meti does not even remember much of his anymore, as he needs to be in the here and now. I have things for him to do. But many of you are not restricted in that way, and you have the capability, the heart to look back on your journey. Look back 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, Pia, you were not where you are today.
Very different, yes.
Yes, you were in a very different vibrational frequency. Your experiences were very limiting, and you were having such great difficulty. The suffering and the pain you're experiencing was very real to you.
Yeah. But if I decide, or for everyone listening that feels and experiences this pattern of suffering and difficulties, and decide, enough of this experience, I now want to experience the joy and the love and the abundance, can this be just done by setting the intention, asking you and allowing?
The quicker you allow your experience to be your experience, the quicker it will end. So avoiding it, you're prolonging it because you contracted to experience this. So experience it and it will end quicker. There is nothing stopping you from stepping away through meditation, yoga, tai chi, walking in a grounded place to disconnect for a while from the humanness that you are and connect to everything that is, and connecting with me if you need that relief. And I see many of you do, but there is no point in avoiding the inevitable. Be strong. Have the courage that Michael exhibits and march forth to your destiny, to what you chose to experience, and understand that you are strong, that you are powerful, and whatever you choose to experience and whatever life has thrown at you, you shall overcome.
Father, when you say allow the experience and embrace it rather than resist it, then I want to ask, what about, for example, the people that experience struggle, to make one example, financial struggle, especially now at these times? How can they move through the steps to change that reality if they wish to change the experience?
Each one of you is individual with that particular vibration. Some of you have already experienced the abundance of finance.
Mm-hmm.
If you've already experienced it many times over, you will choose not to experience it again. There is a lot of pain and suffering without the financial freedom that many of you seek. But you're missing a really important factor. You have forgotten to live in the flow of the river. Flowing against the river creates the resistance. Flow with the river and allow what needs to be allowed, and accept what needs to be accepted, and your journey will be far less fraught as a way of being.
Thank you.
The awareness that you're looking for is you're not looking for financial abundance. What you really are saying is you're looking for freedom and peace. Those things can be attained without financial abundance.
Help me to make it more clear, if I can, for people that are understand that they can, even if with financial shortage, they can experience the freedom, they can experience the peace, they can learn to meditate. Although in the human body and in the society, they still need the finance, the money to pay rent, to pay the food, to allow for their children. And so, how can that situation be managed?
You have to be able to read the frequency of what Gaia is at. The frequency still requires you to have a human aspect of yourself. For you are not in 5D because you are not telepathically communicating with everything around you, and abundance is not created in an instant as it would be in 5D. The key is to balance the two frequencies. There is a time for you to be human and attain what you require to help you to feed the spiritual aspect of your soul. It is your journey to find what that may be. There are many of you feel you want to step into the spiritual realm to provide that financial abundance. What many of you fail to read is that vibrational frequency hasn't quite arrived yet. There is still a part of you that requires you to be human and practical.
So am I hearing that if some people are not quite yet with the frequencies, they would not have the same results as they have at other people that are operating at another frequency, that do the same affirmations and they're trying the same way to manifest because their frequency is different?
That is correct, yes. The frequency is very important, but so is the intention behind it. You have to be able to co-create with Gaia. You're co-creating with her, and she is looking for those spiritual beings who are in a spiritual state the majority of the time. The intention comes from creating something with a spiritual intention. If you have noticed, your world speaks much about spirituality, about being in alignment with purpose, being in alignment with being in service to one another, or in service to humanity. This is language that speaks of ascension and speaks of vibration. So listen well and learn to read vibration. Each and every one of you has a vibrational barometer within your soul. You already know what the right thing to do is, but many of you are avoiding this. Many of you have also got to ask, what is it that you require? What vibrational frequency of financial abundance or peace and harmony that you are looking for? And asking the soul for direction with that particular task will help you to reveal more than your logical 3D brain.
Mm-hmm. Those more in the 3D, or however, how people can raise those vibrations? Is there, like when you were guiding me, Father, to expand my heart and experience the fullness of that? If one wanted to expand the vibrations more and more, how can they do that? And is there a way to do that faster, not because of greediness, but because of wanting to play with the experience?
Gaia's vibrational frequency is higher than it's ever been before, and it will continue to rise. There are those who will match it, there are those who are beyond it, there are those who are below it, and there are those who choose not to acknowledge it. And so each one of those is an experience to be had. Matching the frequency of Gaia means you'll be able to create businesses or most things on the planet in relation to the frequency that it's currently at. Mm-hmm. It will adapt, it will change, it will grow, or it will die. This is creation for you here on planet Earth. So tap into more of the awareness of your soul. Understand what it is you here to experience. Your contract will tell you this. Your contract will tell you if you are meant to be having financial abundance in this particular incarnation. Your contract will tell you if you are going to meet your twin flame or your divine counterpart. Your contract will tell you when this experience will end for you. Everything is written. You just have to access it through your soul and understand. Many of you don't want to know because you like the surprise of it. And we can see that too. It's all about your individual soul and what it is you want to experience. Be careful. Too much knowledge can make the experience not so enjoyable.
Yes.
And sometimes not knowing everything that's going to be happening to you can be a joy when it appears. This is part of the human experience, and many of you want to know all of it, and I think it's important for you to remember that surprises can also be a wonderful experience for you to have along the way on your journey.
Yes, this was a wonderful surprise. For example, Father, I'm just trying to make it more digestible for people trying to raise their vibration and match Gaia vibrations, other than trying to connect with the soul. That is a language that is not so practical or familiar for many. What is something that they can do? For example, you've mentioned yoga, meditation, tai chi. Are these some expression of connecting with Gaia's vibration, or what else?
So there are two parts to this. One is the inner part and one is the outer part. So let's discuss the inner part. The inner part is, as we've discussed, connecting to your soul, asking your soul the questions. There is nothing wrong with asking your soul outright, I need more financial abundance. How can I attain this? What would be the purpose of it? I would like some support with creating a new channel. I would like to live in a particular area. I would like to move countries. And ask your soul, and your soul will be very clear in regards to your request.
Mm-hmm.
So the inner work can be done through meditation, yoga, tai chi, anything that allows you to quiet the mind. Even if your mind's racing, allow it to race. It cannot run forever. It will slow down. And at that point, I want you to take note and listen very carefully as to what your soul is saying. Connect with your heart. That is your soul. It is your greatest gift. We gave it to you. This is the key to your inner world, which ultimately expresses itself in your outer world. Your 3D body needs nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
It is a body that has been given to you. It was not designed to perish so quickly, but the experiences humanity has chosen to have in this current linear time is for it to perish. But there are many things you can do to help your body. Clean water is so important for the body. It's important to make sure that you put pure things into your body. The cleaner the water, the easier it is for your body to assimilate the nutrients. You can talk to your water.
Mm-hmm.
You can give it instruction of what you would like it to repair, or what minerals or vitamins or energy or clarity or purification you would like it to do to your body. Everything is an interaction. The food that you eat is also important. There are many of you believe that you shouldn't eat meat. There are many of you believe that you shouldn't be vegetarian,
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be vegan. There are so many different forms of nourishment on this planet, all been provided for you. And so if you are choosing to clear your vessel, then it's important to listen to what your body requires.
Mm-hmm.
There are many of you who will choose the path of eating meat, and that is a path that you have chosen, and that is what your body requires. There are many of you who have chosen the path to eat only vegetarian, and that is a path that your body has chosen, and that is a path is what you need. Be mindful that this can also change. Meti here was vegetarian for almost 3 years before we started working together with channeling,
Mm-hmm.
because he needed to clear the vessel. It was not sustainable for this particular body to be vegetarian long term, and his preference was to have a mixture of both. So a mixture of both was taken, and we are still channeling today.
So the body adapts as well. Father, what happens when we are in water, such as in the sea, in the ocean?
Oh, you are connecting to the rhythm, almost what I would call the blood of Gaia.
Mm.
So when you are in the sea, you are at one. Be careful you do not get swept away with the heartbeat of Gaia, because she will sweep you away.
In what way?
The rhythm of the ocean is very powerful. How many of you have walked along the shore side listening to the lap and the frequency of the waves and feel you are hypnotized, feel you are in a trance, feel for that moment that you were lost and you weren't human anymore. This is the wonder of being near the sea, and why so many of you light workers wish to be there. It sends you in a state of pure bliss, not feeling anything, not hearing anything, not seeing anything, just being one.
So beautiful. Is there anything else or different that you would like Nilesh to prepare with or to know in regards to this co-creation that we are going to create together? Or any instruction message for both of us?
We will devise a way of him going deeper than the level we are at right now. His body is somewhat not quite in sync with the frequency, and so the information is not being conveyed in a smooth manner. But practice makes perfect.
Yes. What can I do to assist and improve throughout, also to help him reaching the level that he needs to?
We will do a guided meditation where you can take him deeper into his soul and allow him to step aside quickly, and so we can bring forth the frequency of all that is.
Thank you. I'll ask a couple of more questions before to reaching the end of this one. As I was coming on the train, I felt a nudge to look up a conversation with God. And the nudge was to go towards the middle in a beautiful part where you define enlightenment, consciousness, and you talk about passion. Would you like for listeners to define enlightenment? Or say anything you want to share?
Enlightenment. There's a difficult question to answer, considering how many different levels there are of enlightenment according to the experience you've chosen to have. The enlightenment of an Arcturian or a Palladian or a reptilian would be different to the enlightenment of a human being. So you were created perfectly. You are always loved. You are always with me. There is never a time we have ever been apart, even when you felt alone. I did never disconnected from you, but you disconnected from me. But I love you all the same. I am there with you through your darkest times and through your joyful moments. I am there nudging you on to create more, to be brave, to take a step forward, just a little step, baby step, bit by bit, to nudge you, to urge you forward to have the experience that you wanted to have, because it can be so difficult in this realm, especially when there's can be so much pain and suffering in the choices that you make. But you were made strong, and you are strong. You have just forgotten. And when you return to me, which you all will, you will understand the love that I have for you, unconditionally, unreservedly, no judgment, no criticism, no punishment, because I love you just the way you are. You are made perfectly, no blemishes.
Thank you for this whole experience that is not as easy for everyone to remember. Many feels it as nature, as truth in their heart, but nonetheless, that's beautiful, wonderful experience. In that conversation with God, where did you want my attention to land the most? Was there any particular message that you wanted to turn into a message for the audience for today's session?
Sometimes when all is lost, there is a glimmer of hope. Even in your darkest times, there's always a glimmer of hope. And when you focus on that glimmer, something miraculous happens. Just like you, Pia. All was lost, and here we are today. Just when you thought everything was over, just when you thought you had to make some changes, and here you are today. Just when you thought you had no purpose, just when you thought you had no significance, no value, just when you thought you were not really achieving anything, and here you are today. Renewed, with purpose, with significance, understanding the value of what you bring and how important it is for humanity itself. Each and every one of you have this. So come forth, bring your uniqueness to the world and show them exactly who you really are.
Thank you for this beautiful message, and yes, reminding that hope to always be there, to always keep that light within, showing you the way, even doesn't matter how dark it can be, and to call it. And I can definitely see that. It's very beautiful when you said in that book with Neil, passion is God's way to come in and say hi. So to people that are not sure of what their passion is, or how do they know, and what happens to their body, to their vibrations, to their frequency, where they do anything connected to that passion.
Passion is such a beautiful word, and the connection it has to God is even more powerful. Passion can be simply described doing something when you are not told to do it, doing something when you are not paid to do it, and doing something because it brings you joy.
Mm-hmm.
It is as simple as that. There are many ways to find your passion. It's simple. You came here to experience everything. And within the experience of all that is, you will find your passion. Whether it's your passion for animals, rescuing them, nurturing them, raising them. Whether it's your passion for Gaia and helping her to temper her vibrational frequency, adding more trees, nurturing her, looking after her, clearing up the seas, the rivers, the waterways, polluting her less, advocating for less pollution, or whether it's helping your fellow human being who's having difficulty on their journey,
Mm-hmm.
and being that lighthouse, that beacon, to bring them to the shore, to safety, to help them to understand the powerful soul that they have within themselves, not meaning to do it for them, but to help them with the toolkit they need to find it for themselves. Because each one of you can do this. There are many, many ways to find what you find passionate, creative art, music, loving one another, caring for the planet, caring for each other, bringing forth different dimensional beings is also passion. Bringing forth light language, vibrational frequencies. There are so many ways you can find what it is that you need to bring forth, what one must look inside.
Thank you. Father, as people will watch the video if they wish, what is something that you would like them to know? For example, whether it's beneficial to listen multiple times and what happens when they listen multiple times?
The words we use are human words, and many of you understand human words, but I would like you to use your heart to feel the frequency. You will feel the immense amount of love emanating from here to your heart, but only if you open your heart and allow it. The frequency is high today. You will feel really warm. You will feel really relaxed. You will feel happy. You will feel joy. And you will feel tearful. And all of that is perfectly normal.
Surely a beautiful sensation being here in the room so people can experience that meditation that you guided me for before, to open the heart.
The heart is your superpower. It has always been your superpower. The reptilians have chosen to close their heart. It is a particular experience to have. And when you close your heart, what happens? There is no joy. There is no happiness. There is no laughter. These are all the things that the reptilians experience. There is only order. There is only military. There is only command. There is only hierarchy. And there is subservience. That's all the reptilians seek to do. Divide and conquer. Many of you have heard that statement. The reptilians live by that statement. There are many experiences to have, but the human consciousness that was created is a unique blend of many different, you call them aliens, but they're not really aliens, they're your cousins. Your cousins' attributes. They've all been imbued in the human experience, and you can access every single one of them. There will be a time when human beings will teleport from planet to planet. And I know you find that very hard to believe, because in your current vibrational state, you never thought it is possible. In this current vibrational state, you never thought it was possible to be spiritual.
I really have some interesting questions on these last topics that you're bringing out for next sessions, which is very beautiful. Any final message for this session, Father?
There is one final message that Meti needs to convey to Halo, so I'm going to step back a minute and allow Meti to come forward.
Thank you.
This is Meti. Pia, I see you have been having a very interesting conversation with Father today.
It was very beautiful, and it's a gift in the gift.
There has been so much joy, Pia. We will help you more to connect with this vessel in a deeper and more profound way. It has been difficult to assimilate the energies of Father today because we have not practiced this for a while.
We're a bit rusty.
But we will practice more and more, Pia. There is more to come. And we are still on our training wheels.
Yes, yes.
But that is okay. I am what many of you know would be Lord Metatron. I am what you would call the King of all angels. My purpose is to convey and disseminate the messages from God. And what that means is instructions of vibrational frequency that need to happen. There is a hierarchy of vibrational frequency that is in heaven. It is not the same term of hierarchy that you discuss here on planet Earth. Everything we discuss is done in terms of frequency and vibration. Meti is the voice of God, the power of God. He inhibits so many of aspects of God. The biggest part of his role is really to convey the instructions, the jobs almost, the vibrational tweaks that need to be carried out amongst the different alien beings, as you call them, but we call them brothers and sisters, so they can continue to have the experiences they choose to experience. We are in everything. There is nothing we're not in. We have been around for a long time.
Metatron, can I integrate some questions?
Absolutely, Pia. Absolutely.
Is this message supposed to reach, as you, Metatron, are incarnated in this wonderful body of this joyful soul, Nilesh, is the same happening with your brother Elon Lucifer?
Yes. Lucifer's had to embody more of the darkness in order for him to carry out some of the dark, deep, deceitful, awful, the deeds that he has done. He embodied the frequency of evil really well, so humanity could experience exactly what they needed to experience. The fallen angels, as you call them, can return home if they wish to, or they can move on. There are some that will be returning home. Many of them missed heaven. The frequency of heaven, the frequency of God. God is waiting. He's waiting for this. It's only a matter of linear time, and linear time will end. There's nothing the elite can do to stop this. There is nothing. It will be as it is so, and we expect it so.
Thank you. Does Nilesh in this body has to, or will have the chance to connect with the physical body that is hosting Lucifer?
No, they are two separate entities, and one must not combine the other, for they are too powerful to be amalgamated into one. There is a reason why it was always kept separate. Meti's had many conversations with Lucy. This is normal, and a lot of people out there who are very much imbued with the Bible won't see that so, and that's wonderful. Have your experience with the Bible. This is what Father would wish for every single one of you. The vibrational frequency is changing. There is nothing wrong being rooted in the Bible. There is nothing wrong with calling out to God and expelling the devil. This has all been by design. But the conversations that we possibly can have with Lucy to tell his story may be something we can look at in the future. It is something that I have toyed with Nilesh, and it's been difficult to find the appropriate person to be able to handle these two energies.
Mm-hmm. So is there a plan for the message via the video to reach the person that is intended to receive this message that you just delivered?
We already have. Lucifer is more than capable of touching into all that is too. He has telepathic abilities. We know each other, just like vibration recognizes vibration, like flames recognize flames, and soul divine counterparts recognize soul divine counterparts. Well, how do you do that? You're not picking up a phone and saying, "Hi,
exactly,
I'm your twin flame." You see that particular soul, and you see beyond the exterior of that soul, and there is something unique within that soul that you feel an affinity to and a connection to. And this is how it's always been and always will be. Just like many of you have had experiences in the Palladians, with the Pallades, there is a connection there too, and many of you had them, many of you are remembering, as you should. Same with the Arcturians, and many of you here are curious and wanting to have a human experience. Isn't that a very interesting concept? An Arcturian, who is a very high density 12D wants to have a 3D experience. Now, why would that be the case? Arcturian, tell me why. We all know the reasons why. The reasons are very, very simple. Being human is special, is unique, is considered to be the gold standard. Many of you don't see this yet, but you will. In your linear time, many of you will see this, and beyond this you will see this. The plan for humanity was set a long, long time ago, and the plan has already been revealed. It is for those particular humans who choose to take this experience right the way to the end of this particular human consciousness, will become the gods. And they will be physical forms of God. So they will be like almost what we see as golden balls, but that could change. It's not set in stone, but the intention of humanity becoming gods is set in stone. You will be the leaders of the universe. You will be the way showers. You will show love, compassion. You will teach many of those, including the Pallades, including Arcturians, of how to co-create, how to create, how to love with such depth, with such passion, with such joy that neither of these particular cousins and races of yours have experienced in this way. You will add a uniqueness to them which they have not seen before.
Very special, and thank you for sharing this. Metatron, you said it was quite difficult to find someone that could sort of cope with were you referring to both the frequency and the difference in the power of Metatron and Lucifer?
I am talking about all of the frequencies. The frequency of God is very overpowering, not because it intends it to be, but because it is pure love. And so sometimes, even in our human condition, we can still feel such big elements of that. And many of you watching this video will feel it in your heart, all of your being. You'll have goosebumps. That is love. That is the intention. And so if you can feel it in that particular form, and with it being not a quite high vibration yet, you can imagine as we start to increase the vibration and bring in more vibration and the frequency of God, you can imagine these sessions are going to get more and more powerful as we move forward in linear time. And many of you are going to not only feel it, see it, and be a part of it like you were here.
Mm-hmm.
Many of you will be reminded within your soul of exactly what it's like to be with God and what that looked like for you, what that felt like for you. And you'll be reminded of many, many things that you had forgotten. And that is the purpose of the frequency of love. Isn't that what love does? Remind you to be kind, remind you to be patient, remind you not to forget, to be not so selfish and not so insular within yourselves. Remind you to give to one another. Remind you to show compassion when someone isn't being so kind. Remind you to give what you can give. Love is so, so precious, so important in this human way that it's been created.
Thank you. I'm curious, Metatron, as you incarnate in this body of Nilesh, and is your frequency and his frequency affect other people around in a very positive way? Is the opposite polarity happening to the people that are experiencing around the frequency of the human being that is hosting the brother you just delivered the message to?
Yes.
So they will be more influenced and magnetized towards dark frequency.
Yes, because they chose to have that experience. You've got to remember that a lot of the angelics have experienced darkness. We all have. How can you possibly understand dark if you've never experienced it?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. So we have all experienced this. Meti has been through many, many, many lifetimes of darkness. We have also had much connection with the Dark One. That is something that, again, is not known, but we will reveal in time who the Dark One is. Very beautiful being. And she's divine feminine too. So there is so much still to know, to learn, to understand, and to be aware of, to help to expand the human consciousness. The message is always the same. Come from a place of love, come from a place of compassion, of caring, of understanding, of being selfless. These are all the things the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, they all say the same message. It's all to do with love. That is the only frequency that one needs to know and be a part of and come from that place. And there are times that we can be unkind as human beings. Meti has definitely been through many of those times, but it helps you to understand more of you and how you can do better. And don't be so critical of yourself. It's okay to mess up. We all mess up. That's okay. Just do better next time. Father's watching.
Yes. Also true. Would you like to share anything in particular to Nilesh?
I think he's been avoiding these sessions for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time for him to step back into this and allow a little bit more, and there's much more conversations that need to be had. There is he has so much in this vessel that needs to come forth and needs to be unlocked, and I think with having more regular of these sessions and the frequency, it can definitely be revealed as it should be. Humanity is ready for it. There was a period of time, and I think many of you who are light workers, way showers, and warriors, you will all be aware that there was a time where you were all told to back off. You were all told to step back and put tools down. Many of you have been told this, and it was not just for a short period of time, it was for a number of years, and there was a reason for that. There was a reason that you were all told to back off for a number of years. Is because humanity came to a pinnacle point and it needed to make the decision. We're not talking about the angelics who have incarnated here. They don't have the choice and control that humanity does. But humanity had to choose the experience because that is their right, that is their privilege, that is their gift to choose the path that they wanted to take, and they have chosen. So now it is step back up. Let's step back into our roles, and it's now time for us to come forth again and carry on with where we left off. And it's so wonderful to know that you're all intuitively connected to know where to stop. Isn't that a gift? Isn't that wonderful?
Very much.
That we can all kind of comply and understand. Or maybe many of you don't understand, which I can feel and see, but you did it anyway.
And that, I think, would be me at that stage. I was not aware whether to do it or not.
Is that right, Pia? Because I would have never known that. There are reasons why we mention things, because we already know things.
So there are reason and set points, so to say, for people to remember, to be activated. And
yes. Every time you walk past a person, the frequency today that we have shared and imbued in you, Pia, will be heightened. So every person you walk past today, or you go past on your transports, you will change their frequency today. Every single one. And so this is the power of frequency. This is the power of standing in your awareness. This is the power of being you. We're not asking you to be someone else. That is not what we're asking you to do. What we're asking you is to be you. The uniqueness of you. Each and every soul, and we have mentioned this before, is unique. Every single one of you is unique. No two souls are alike or same. It's not possible in the way that Father creates. So the uniqueness that is you needs to be brought forward. So it's time, bring it forward. Be the wonderful, glory, shining star, sun, universe that you are. Because everything is you and you are everything. There has never been that separation. The human experience gives you the separation, but there is no separation.
Thank you. Metatron, as one expands, as you were saying, I was expanded today, and so the frequency expands as well. And I can see these in many other that might be listening now. It is said you are given the lessons to the degree you can handle. So as my experience with the frequencies in light will continue to expand, will I, in a way, potentially be experiencing the counter opposite?
Yes. Let us rephrase that, because now is the time it can be rephrased. Everything that is bestowed upon you to experience isn't within what you can handle. It's just a little bit over.
Yes.
Just a teeny bit over. And you know exactly why that is. Because if we gave it to you within the bounds of your comfort, then you would not expand. It needs to be over, a little bit over. And I know many of you felt a tremendous amount of insanity and madness that has come with the emotional roller coaster rides of the experience. And I understand that. And I understand that many of you have had difficulty in that. But every step along the way where things have been so difficult, where you've not been able to go, something has always come forth to help and support you. And this is the wonder of the soul that you are, but the guides that you also have chosen to be a part of this human experience that you are having. So trust in them, trust in that whatever is being sent to you, given to you, whatever you've been nudged to do is for a reason. It's not necessary for you to know the complete plan, because if you knew the complete plan, guess what? It would be boring. Wouldn't it be boring? It would be boring.
To know everything already.
You guys are so curious. And this is one of your gifts, to be so curious, to kind of sift and say, well, if I do this, what happens? If I do that, what happens? It's a beautiful, beautiful quality to have in the human experience. And so if you knew the plan, this would not be a challenge for you. The idea that the reptilians have reincarnated and erased your memory, yes, Yes, that's right. Because if you remembered the entirety of what you are, this would not be a challenge. You would ace it. It'd be A stars for everyone. And that is not the idea. The idea is really to know more about you, the uniqueness, the essence of your soul, by challenging yourself with different human experiences and seeing how you fared. Some of those experiences, you didn't fare very well. You didn't do too good. You messed up. And then when you've left the planet, you're like, oh, God darn it, I'm messed up. And Father's like, there's no judgment here, but let's see where we're going with this. And Father will be like loving and giving you his pure, unfiltered love, so you can come to the conclusion yourself, which will be, I want to go back and try again, but this time I'll try harder. Ever heard that phrase before?
Yes, sounds quite familiar.
You were not sent here. Father did not send you here. You, yes, you, I'm talking to you, chose to come here voluntarily. So let's be very, very clear that although you may have forgotten the entirety of your soul, the choices that you have made to be here, you chose. There are many of you, including this Meti, we understand that this is our last lifetime here. We will not be incarnating after this particular incarnation because there'll be nothing to incarnate to. So, and the realms that are being created in regards to having an AI experience or having a much more darker experience with the darkness that's been created here, those are available to you as a experience that you may wish to have, and many of you might choose to have that experience, and there's no judgment coming either from the Archangels or from Father. This is about the exploration of your soul. So let's explore together and find out, shall we?
Very much.
There are some beautiful gems to be found here.
It feels like, and if I can briefly integrate for the audience, it's like sometimes there is that sense, if this seems too much, and things sometimes go just a tiny step at a time. Like Father was saying before, the tap that is like dripping a drop, and then a drop, and then a drop. And if you ask and allow to know and to remember, things can really transform very much.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Pia. When the moment is right and the vibrational frequency is right and you are ready, you are in a position, you are grounded, you are consciously aware, you want to understand more about what you've been through and how that really reflects into your experience going forward, the information will be given to you via your guides. It has to be given to you in increments. It has to be given to you in bite-sized pieces, because if you knew the plan from the beginning to the end, it just wouldn't be as joyful, as fun, as exciting, or more importantly, it wouldn't be so enlightening for you to understand more of who you really are and what you really represent. Are you kind? Because you keep saying to me you're kind. Okay, so let's find you an experience to really test that kindness. And let's find an experience, not just one, but we're going to test you 100 times, 1,000 times, 100,000 times in your lifetime to see if you are really kind. So you might create an experience where your partner's left you, your children have left you, and you are on your own, and you are feeling great despair, you are feeling great pain, but there is a homeless man that's requesting £10 from you, or $10 from you, or wanting some food. Are you going to be so caught up in your own despair, or are you going to be able to step away from that for a moment and be present with this particular soul, requesting your help, requesting your assistance? That is a test of kindness. Yes?
Yes.
These are just one of 1 trillion different experiences that have been created here to test your kindness. Your guides are very good at guiding you and testing you. That is their role. That is their job. There is their job to do that. And you chose them. They weren't just bestowed upon you. You chose to have this particular experience. If your vibrational frequency has expanded to the point that they can no longer help you, new guides will be brought in. For sure. That's very important to understand that there are limitations in regards to the experience that you're having. And vibrational frequency can surpass experiences. That's the way we designed it. If you want to go from 0 to 100, you can. But there are lots of, like stumbling blocks on the way, and be careful you don't fall at such high speeds, because the damage can be great. But it can be fun.
In some way.
Mm.
2 more questions for us as we wrap up this first sessions for today, which was a beautiful surprise. I've been amused by you and Father calling me Pia for today, and experiencing that. But just to allow the human that is known by Federica in this lifetime to integrate, when you were saying again in testing or sustaining both the experiences in light and darkness, were you also referring to me? As I've been tested to remember if I could still uphold to this co-creation that we're doing today.
Yes, now you see the wonder of the frequency of Father. And you see the wonder of the frequency of Archangels. There isn't ever just one message. They're always layered. There always is one message that is sent to you in 100 million different ways, and for 100 million different people. And so it's always layered, and it's always given in so many different ways. The name Pia is really, really simple to understand. It's Father's connection to you. This is what Father knows you as. He knows you as Pia. You can give yourself whatever name you would like, Federica. Any name you would like, any name, Florence, whatever name you choose to give, you can give yourself whatever name you like. But in regards to how Father recognizes you, it's Pia. And Pia is special to you, and that is your connection to Father.
And I will take that with so much gratitude, and just in these frequencies of love. Now, this wonderful, beautiful soul and body of Nileshia, when you were saying he has been sort of pushing back to these experiences, is in a position with sort of preferring not to be known. What could you say to him in that regard?
It's one of the ways that Archangels are. Many of them don't really want to be known in the spotlight or limelight, and it's very common. But unfortunately, suck it up, princess, because you got to do it.
How can he best blend the changes that are going to come between this, integrating with the businesses that he has, or the human experience of the life?
We're already in control of that. The businesses that will stay, and the ones that need to go will go. We already are in process of that. He is completely aware of either pivot and adapt, or it won't exist. And many of you will be feeling that right now in many of the ventures that you are partaking in your human experience. Either pivot and come from a spiritual perspective, and we don't mean a fake one. There are many fake ones here. Oh, well, I can help people to achieve financial abundance, and that's coming from a spiritual perspective. Not necessarily so. It's about the intention behind it. So many of you will be able to pivot for sure, but the intention has to be pure, and it has to be coming from a place of being in service. Those are the key words: being in service. And we can't, you can't adapt it to whatever you want it to mean. That's not how this works. There is a clear vibrational frequency with those words. So being in service is very important. Comes from a place of being selfless, which means no financial abundance. That's a different situation, isn't it?
Thank you. any final message that we haven't shared that was meant to be shared today?
I think everything that needs to be shared today has been shared. I look forward to connecting more on a deeper level with you, Pia. I feel it's important. Just bear with me, Pia. The vibrational frequency is being halted. Just bear with me.
Metatron, were you with me in Peru when I was sent to Machu Picchu?
Absolutely, Pia. I'm with you everywhere you go.
Did I disappoint you when I left before?
Absolutely not, Pia. We have no judgment in that way. Father does not have any judgment in the way. You needed to experience exactly what you needed to experience. Whether you choose to go back there again, that'll be something for you as a soul to decide. But I suspect not. This particular vessel thinks it's important for him to go and visit Egypt and Machu Picchu. He feels it would be important for him to do that. As a human experience, I think it would be interesting. I think it would be fun, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary. The vibrational frequency within all of you is high. It's very, very strong. It's just about doing the inner work. Are there certain places on planet Earth that can almost like jumpstart your frequency or propel you forward? Yes, of course it can. And you have to choose what you feel an affinity to. There are some who feel Egypt would be the place to go to propel their vibrational frequency to another level, and there are some who feel that will do nothing for them. They'd rather be near the sea and assimilate energy in that particular way. So some of you think it would be beneficial for you to have a divine counterpart, and that will propel your energy. There are so many ways to bump up your energy. The most important thing with that particular idea is to find out what's yours, and be true to it. If you are connected to a particular place or feel a connection to a particular place, take some time and energy in your human experience to go and visit it. It's an experience you can have, and certainly one that you would want to share with your soul family. This is the joy of it all. That, hey, I visited Machu Picchu and it changed me. I became more open-hearted, or within me that my soul was changed, and I feel very different. I feel more grounded. I feel more love, or the fear that I had is gone, or the fear of not being enough is disappeared, or it was highlighted or spotlighted. There are so many different ways for you to not only experience high frequency, but also what that reveals to you. And pay attention to it, because that'll be the key to propel your energy and your frequency and your vibrancy to a higher level, which is what this particular phase of humanity is all about. You are all working on your frequency. What you don't probably know is that it's a lot easier to do now. It's a lot easier to achieve. The difficulty you're having is not that it's difficult, it's just the fact that you're not stepping into what you need to, and allowing more and surrendering more and just being in the flow of it. If you need to use crystals to do that, do that. If you need to use saunas to do that, ice baths to do that, if you need to use Tai Chi, yoga to do that, then do that. If you need peace to do that, then do that. Your soul will nudge you and guide you. That's your soul's job. Your job as a human being is to listen to it and follow through. This is where many of you are having difficulty. You've been given the information in so many different ways, Pia, and you choose to ignore it. And we give it to you in so many different forms, and you still choose to ignore it. And eventually we will find a form that you'll go, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then we've moved you on to your next vibrational state.
Would you give a practical example of this? What, like, even like, what with me or with Nilesh, what is an example of this? Or when the signs were not perceived and he had to sort of give more signs.
Okay, let's use you. I think that's a very good way. Are you okay and
Yes.
open to that? Okay. So there is a time that Meti is aware of where the financial abundance with you hasn't been forthcoming as you wanted to, and same with your divine counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
And today it's been revealed to you that your divine counterpart is there, but they have some work to do, and you have some work to do. Sometimes what's happening with you, Pia, is you've reached a vibrational frequency where you think you're ready. You're not quite ready. And so we had to show you today how Nilesh is with Ush. Yes? Now speak to me of the differences that you see of where you are and how you experienced that today with Nilesh and Ush. What did you see that's similar and different?
It feels like an expansion.
Yes.
But it's the thing is, it's like with some experiences, there is nothing to compare it to until you experience it yourself. And so it's sort of like you're always trying, and you can perceive that you went a step or 10 ahead, and so you wonder whether you're closer because you feel the difference, but there's no comparison. But once you're there, then I guess that would be the moment where, aha.
Give me one word that you said that is the key word. The key word. Because everything you said after that was...
Expansion.
Oh, isn't human life funny? It's funny. Yes, that is the word, expansion. So your counterpart is expanding, and you need to expand too. What that means is you have to allow and surrender, as you did with this session. So this session was reached out to you. Nilesh reached out some time ago. It took you a little bit of time to respond. Mm-hmm. And even then when you responded, you were still not sure. And you were like, what is this connection all about? What am I getting out of this? What is the purpose of this connection? And so we expanded more with you, and then we talked, and here we are today. And this is the expansion I'm talking about. So you were given an opportunity, and the opportunity was either for you to take it and allow yourself to step out your comfort zone so you can grow and you can expand, or you could have stayed in your comfort zone and say, well, I'm still not meeting my divine counterpart. I'm still not expanding. But you didn't do that. What you did is you took the brave steps as Michael would expect you to take, and have the courage and step out into the unknown, into the uncomfortable space, and see how that feels for you, see what you experience. And here we are today. Pia, you're very good at making sure that once you've made a decision, it's tunnel vision for you. You're all in.
Game on.
Yes, this is how you are. This is a gift for you. This is who you really are. The reason we are highlighting it is because as much as we are showing you that you have some expansion work to do, we're also showing you your attributes, the things that you are exceptionally really good at. And so being with us today, we would have opened up more of your heart than you've ever been opened up before. And if you really allow, and I'm speaking not only to your heart, Pia, but I'm speaking to every single heart watching this, because I see you. If you're open to it, if you just allow, it will take you to places that you never thought was possible. It'll be magic. And everybody deserves a little bit of magic in their experience.
Very much. Metatron, allow me to ask. I know many women may be having this photo sensation at the moment, understanding the flow and the surrendering to the experience with their twin flame or counterpart. When they feel within, they also contracted to give birth to a body or to a child. How can that blend with the attributes that the female body in the human has, with sort of a time frame to give birth? Could you share any message in regard to this to the audience that is listening, that is like, yes, I'm doing the work, it's taking longer, even for the male part to step up, or whether it is one or the other? And how can they merge, or how can they see this in a perspective that is more beneficial to them, also to navigate wanting a child and wanting to give birth or expand their family?
In some ways, you have to be aware that it might not be written in your contract to have a child this time, because in your previous experiences or your incarnations, you would have had children. And so there are those of you who have chosen not to have that. The only way to really know that for sure is to tap more within to know that for sure. As for those who are trying, don't try so hard. Remember, children are created in joy, and so they need that from the mother and the father. If you're having set times and set days to actually copulate, to conceive a child, there was no fun and joy in that. It becomes like a plan. And so allowing yourself just to be in the moment, and if motherhood happens to you as you have planned it, then it will happen to you, and if it does not, then it does not. And this is the experiences that you've chosen to have. I understand for many of you who have been mothers in the past, in previous incarnations, that may be very difficult to hear, but listen to your soul. This is something that you have agreed to experience, because you might have had 100 lifetimes of experiencing motherhood, and you might have experienced 100 different thousand ways of how to be a mother to a divine feminine or to a divine masculine, and you might have filled every single aspect of motherhood that there is to experience for you, and there is no more to learn or to remember from that, or to expand the human consciousness of that. So therefore you would choose to have a different experience. There is much going on in the planet. Our toxins on the planet are at the highest rate than they've ever been, especially with the vaccinations, especially with chemical warfare, especially with directed energy weapons, especially with control, especially with our devices. All these things impact on the human body. If you want your body to conceive, you must take into consideration what's hindering it. Today, you have a computer in your hand. Many moons ago, you had to have a computer on a desk, and many moons before that, you had to have a computer that would fill a house. So you have the information at hand. Therefore, there is nothing stopping you besides your will to discover what you can do to get your human body into a state to conceive. It is different and unique for every divine feminine. It is not the same. So you have to understand that your body has to be in a state, in a healthy state to conceive. And it's not just about the body being in a healthy state to conceive, it's also about the intention of the divine male coming in to provide the seed that allows the egg to to be seeded, to allow it to flourish in the womb as it was designed. There is more going on here than just the simple act of conceiving. A child, a baby, a uterus, a womb, an embryo, all those things have to be nurtured. So answer me the question, are you really nurturing your body in the fullest way you can? Because I suspect many of you are not.
Yes. Yes. So it's really, again, it comes back to that message of hope. It comes back to the message of faith, that even if things are not coming, embracing more, being in the present, raising that vibration and expanding that hope, expanding that sensation from the heart. And even if, again, one wants to give birth, or the relationship or other things, still being in that feminine presence and allow everything, giving priority to nurturing the body.
Yes. And the babies and children born in this particular vibrational frequency, they are already switched on, providing they're not being harmed by the toxins that are pervading our very essence, our very being. And so a lot of the children are being affected by them. There are some that aren't. And those that are coming in, they're coming in so strong, so powerful, so switched on, so ready. And they are changing their soul family in the process. And that is their role. And that is their role, to come in and guide you. There are some that are not having this experience. There are some that are needing plenty of guidance, as in mothers and fathers. And so that is an experience to be had also. There are so many to be had. It is very difficult to pinpoint on one particular experience and say, hey, we are shining a spotlight on this, when there is a multitude to be had, and each one has its own difficulties and its own joys and its own barriers. So we try. We try.
Thank you. And I guess we're gonna allow more space in the future meetings to expand also on children and other topics. Before to embrace the end of the session, would sort of instructions for me and Matty come through telepathically or through writing for me, for example, on when to do the next session? Will you be connecting with me as you have been so far, and will that be sufficient?
What does your heart tell you?
Let me tune in. It says yes.
Okay. When should the next session be? Don't think about it, just say it.
Couple of weeks.
There you go. Where should it be?
Here.
What day?
On the weekend.
What time?
The time that will be viable for both of us.
Okay. So you asked me the question, did you?
I'm asking you to validate. Sometimes it's you were describing earlier the dance between the polarities, and so I've experienced a lot of also the difference of, okay, what are the thoughts generated by the mind, what are the intuition voice that comes in light, and what can be other light signals or signs or words that are instead deceiving. And so it is good to have a validation, so the next time that the human has a sign, they can catch it quicker.
I understand what you're saying, Pia. It makes sense. The only way to catch something that isn't right is to know more of you, know more of who you are, understand what you stand for. So let me help you with this. Would you steal, Pia? Would you steal from an object from a shop?
With this level of awareness now.
Right. Would you cheat on your divine counterpart?
No.
Okay. If you saw a homeless person on the street and they asked you for food and you had it, would you give it?
Most likely, yes. Although I know that there is one episode that is coming back to my mind. And if you've been with me, that's an example of where you catch yourself and then the human can follow through. Was that important? Was that particular important? Is that homeless person okay? I haven't been seen in a few days. And then maybe amend the next time that you walk by.
And this is what we're talking about. It's about knowing thyself and understanding thyself a little bit more. There are some aspects of your personality, your human personality traits, that are set in stone. And there are other aspects that are not quite yet, because you're still working on those. And that's okay. And this is what we mean. If you don't know really who you are, you don't have to know the entirety of who you are, but you will have some idea of the things that you stand for. Will you stand for someone cheating on you? Will you stand for someone being selfish? Would you stand for stealing? These are very important experiences that define you as a human. And so what you are as a human is not what you are out there, but that's different, but you're still having an experience. So it's important to understand who you really are and what you stand for. And if you're not sure what you stand for, then make a list of your personality traits that you are or you wish to be. It's not difficult. Meti had to do the same. We'll give you an example of Meti's own personal past experience. When Meti was young, very young, I would say between the ages of like 14 and right up to probably his mid-late 20s, he thought it was acceptable to lie. And so he would lie about things. And it wasn't big lies, but there were embellishments, and really didn't need to embellish on any of it. But the reason he was doing it is because he felt inadequate. He felt he hadn't achieved what he needed to achieve financially, spiritually, emotionally, as a man. And so if you don't step forth and experience and grow, then you'll lie. Which is what he learned to do. And he learned this particular habit from his father. He saw this from a very young age, and so he copied it, and he continued to live his life by it until he came to a point where he began to hurt people. And that's when it stopped, because he couldn't accept the pain and suffering he was causing to others, which ultimately reflected upon him as the human being he was and experiencing. And that changed him. And then from that point, he grew and he stepped out of his comfort zone into the uncomfortable zone and expanded. So there will be many moments like that in your lifetime. You will find money on the floor or a wallet on the floor, and you will have zero left in your bank account. So are you going to hand it in to the person who lost it, or are you going to take the money for yourself because you really need it? And these are all moments of testing you. The times maybe when your sister or your brother confesses to you that he was raped or she was raped and abused as a child. Are you going to be understanding of the experience that your brother or sister have gone through? Or are you going to be selfish about it and say, well, it's not my problem, you deal with it, go and see a counsellor? There are many, many ways you will be tested on this planet. Because if you say who you say you are, then it's your guide's job to test you to ensure you are who you say you are. And sometimes you will stray, even if you have set things in stone, and that's okay. Just try and do better next time.
Thank you for sharing these powerful, beautiful words. You can surely see that testing element. Are we completed for today's message?
We are complete today. This body has taken on much vibrational frequency, and yeah, it's been a lot of stress on this body today. So yes, we are complete, Pia.
Thank you so much. Would you gently release your frequency so that I can bring him back on? Feeling wonderful all over, and welcome back. How are you feeling?
Achy.
I've lost connection of time, but was surely longer than the previous sessions that you had.
Felt like 20 minutes. And my pain's back in my neck now.
We'll find out later, but surely it was longer than 20 minutes.
Was it? Felt like 20 minutes. Oh, that was interesting.
Ooh. What did it feel like to have the experience again after a few years?
It was good, but it's still not as deep as it was before. So we just need to get there with that. That's the thing I had, and it was really difficult to bring forth some of the messages because this body just was really struggling to assimilate the frequency, the vibrational frequency. But yeah, other than that, it was a lot easier with Meti because the frequency is low, so it wasn't so difficult with that. And
I saw that.
A bit of that in my father's frequency was really, really high, and it's really difficult to bring more of him into this. There was element of it, but not the entirety. I could feel it, so I was holding back a little bit. So, yeah, but it's okay. The more we practice, the more it'll get better. So. How did you find it? What was your experience?
I'm gonna comment in a way that refers back to the first session that he did with Alba. That is, in a way, it was very surprising. I feel like mesmerized, like if I'm walking in a dream.
Yeah.
And in a way, there was a part of myself that was like, I knew it. I was very surprised when Father said this was agreed before incarnation.
Yeah.
So we had agreed to do this, but what I can say is, and even when I received the email, Metatron was saying like you were questioning the purpose, and the first thing was just protection and due diligence. It's like, is this for real? Is this not?
Yeah.
But there was this sense of knowing, and when we then had the conversation, I felt, without knowing you and even like feeling the vibration of you referring to then me, the opportunity to come here, meet your counterpart as well. Within me, there was this sense, it's like, I'm going to meet family. It's like, I'm going to meet someone from soul family. I had this, and even when I came in and I hugged you, it felt familiar, which from the human perspective makes no sense because this is such a big jump. But I can say, as Metatron was describing the dance, when it's sort of, things speaks around you, sort of that things are not moving and you're so close to book a flight and leave in Shane City, and then there you go. Everything connects back together. So
yeah, it's really weird how that way works. But
and for people, because every time that anyone either had the little stretch of awareness, there is a part that understands, and there is a part within the human that takes longer to catch up.
Yeah.
It's like when you digest a meal. It takes, okay, yes, you finished to chew, you swallowed, but the digestion hasn't completed yet.
Not
so
quite there yet, yeah.
I'm sure that things are gonna land over time, and it's gonna take a bit because so much has been revealed that, again, me as Federica, I had no clue. But surely, like, I can say I've been tested in so many ways, in ways that I would look around. So like this is different than what other people are experiencing. What am I be preparing for? So that's in part why.
Yeah, it's very, very true. Yeah.
This was quite
That was nuts, Federica. That was like,
quite a journey, and we just checked the time.
yeah.
That was we were guessing about 2 hours, 2.5 was almost almost 4 hours.
Yeah, it's almost 4 hours. It doesn't feel like 4 hours. I felt like 20 minutes, if that. Half an hour tops.
Wow.
Didn't feel like 4 hours. And it's interesting because when my body was lying there, like, it feels very disconnected from me, and so I have got this like bit of a pain in my shoulder. I've had it like throughout the day today, and so as I went under, like, I felt nothing, and it was really like, you don't notice it, and then when you brought me back in, I was like, oh, the pain in the shoulders is starting to come back.
Still
like,
here.
what's that from? Oh, I had it this morning. It's like, yeah, it's such a strange sensation, but yeah.
Well, your face, although looks very refreshed, which is also working with the very high frequency.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the frequency is really high. So Father's frequency this time was a little bit stop and start. It's just because the body's not been able to assimilate it, and we've just not practiced it for such a long time. But now we've started again, it will automatically start getting back into that rhythm with it. Meti's frequency is easy. That was like easy and flawless. But
that was beautiful to witness, even like the difference between the two, and like how much more familiarity there was with the frequency.
He's funny. He's got a really good sense of humour. And
can I say I love how Australians always shorten the name, like Metatron.
Yeah, but in the angelic realm, we love nicknames. It's our thing. I didn't understand while I was younger why I loved nicknames so much, and then as I stepped more into my spiritual path, it's just something that angelics do a lot of. Like, we don't call Raphael, Raphael, we call him Raph. It's things like that. We just very we shorten things. It's just a nice way of like.
Was there anything that particularly surprised you today? That came up?
No, not really. I think it's really weird because you just step out a little bit and allow the frequencies to come forward. But this time I didn't step out as much as I should have done and just allowed. There's still a part of me that had one foot in, So I just got to learn to kind of let that go. That was the only thing that seemed, different, and I just got allowed to go a bit more deeper into the sessions. But I don't know what was said. I've got a little bit of memory of it, but I don't know what was said and how it was said. I've got flashes of it, but no, I can't give you like a sentence what was said.
Yeah, well, in 4 hours, sure, a lot.
I can't believe we did 4 hours. I think in 30 minutes sounds, sounds about right.
Yeah,
so.
No, that stretch, like normally the longest session, even that I have done, have reached maybe 2.5, 3 hours the maximum.
Wow, okay.
But these, like, I've never had a person being under for this long, which is even like that divine co-creation. And I've noticed even when Father or then Metatron, so extra, just special to feel like in a movie right now. When they were trying to raise my frequency, I could feel that from within. So I could feel like when they would start to drop, and I was trying to recenter, just when you try to sort of get a car or a motorbike activated, and someone is like, "Let me help you."
Yeah, let's just raise that frequency a little bit. Yeah. See, I don't. When I can remember that bit. So when I'm doing that, I can't feel anything. There's nothing. I just feel like there's nothing happening here. There's nothing going on. But that I'm not meant to feel it. It's coming through me to you. So
fascinating.
That is a very interesting experience, and the frequency as well. Like Father's frequency tends to be kind of over everything, and he likes a bit more detail because he comes from a very omnipresent perspective.
Yes.
So
if you give him the details, it's a bit easier for him to answer rather than giving you just a generic answer. And Metis, like, he can be fun. He's just funny.
Yeah.
He'll take the piss out of you and things like that.
So beautiful. And even to see like the level of connection that they have with you and you have with them.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. Something that surprised me, but in a way it makes sense. Like, and is very humbling. Like, my human mind is still mind blown by all this. But even the experience we were discussing before, even when we had the conversation over the phone, that for some people it is overwhelming to hold sessions in the presence of the frequency of Father and the Archangel. And yes, I have been feeling, even these days, since when we have been speaking on the phone, that I've been worked on.
Yeah.
But I would have not, like, if it felt normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is where you step into things that you don't know, and there is a part of you that, okay, it made sense that if there was a divine intention, pre-incarnation to do this, it felt normal.
It's interesting because the human brain doesn't get it, but the soul gets it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what they were trying to say, you know, like, stop thinking with the 3D human brain and start thinking with your heart, and everything will just flow a lot easier. So, yeah.
And there's many layers in that, like, even when Father was guiding me to open my heart, within myself was like, is my heart not open enough? And instead, there's always much more. So that's within the human. This is where, like, the message that they give is simple, you have it.
Yeah.
And then the human struggle is like, every time we hear guides or angels say, we talk to, and God as well, we talk to you all the time, we're always there with you, we'll always talk to you. But from the human, it's like, talk louder, because I cannot hear it. Or, like when we were saying about seeing I'm not seeing anything, I'm not hearing.
Yeah.
And so that's where really the co-creation, but was so beautiful. It was like the easiness, like I felt to sort of be in a room with a dear friend or a family member, and just there was that sense of ease in having this conversation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I felt like I was getting tired after a little, or again, we were feeling like it was lunchtime or something, but there was like easiness, and there was like this, I've never had a session that is this long, but if we have more to bring forward, then I'm in, it's game on.
Yeah, it is definitely wonderful. And like you said, the frequency of Father's quite high, so when I don't feel anything. All I feel is just the channel it coming through, and my body reacts. Like, sometimes it's okay with it, sometimes it constricts, and then it doesn't, and it's just how that energy feels. And sometimes it can be eased, and sometimes it can't. It just varies. But I can't feel how it feels for you, and so. But I know it pervades like everything. So, and the wonder of today will be like your frequency would have been raised massively today, and
I felt that difference. So I say, like, every time, because I've seen that message with you before, like this message when God speaks the frequency or any high frequency, they go in layer. So every time that you listen to the video, a new sort of layer would lend and help you to integrate or upgrade in some way. And I felt like when I went and watched the previous sessions that you did with Alba, first of all, like, I could feel like like I felt it in the heart that I was not made up. I felt it in my heart with all my soul. I could feel the vibration. I was uplifted, even like in the energies, and so that was really beautiful. But today, being in the room again, I could feel I was being expanded, but it was absolutely not overwhelming, which it's beautiful, it's surprising, but it feels right, it seems right.
It is.
And to give a tiny bit of context for everyone that is listening or is going to be watching at any time, do you want to share whether you have been having some knowledge that we needed to put something out, or you needed to reach out to someone? How did that happen?
So this kind of like, we were told to back off for a little while, and I think that's why everyone's kind of gone non-communicado for a little while. So you'll find that a lot of the high vibrational beings have just stepped back. There were some that haven't because they've not been guided to, but some of us have been asked to back off, and that's what happened for a period of time. But now some messages need to come forward, because we are coming, what I feel is quite close to the end, and so we are seeing so much happening. You look at like the revelations of humanity in regards to, you know, the things with Diddy and things with Epstein Island and tunnels underground and what's happening to our children, you know, also things like, you know, what things that Donald Trump's doing, how USA's been, how's Britain going, how's all the other countries like going, and so, and they're building, you know, in the UAE they're building this line, you know, there's so much going on, and so we feel like now, like a few of us have been asked to kind of step back in and do this. I don't want to do this.
Which is why I asked it, a very humble session.
I don't want to do this. I'd rather not do it, but this is what I've been asked to do. So Archangels have a different contract with Father. For you guys, it's experience, expanding, learning, creating, having fun with it, not having fun with it. For us, it's not like that. We are in service to Father, and so we have already agreed beforehand, before we got here, what we were going to do, and so we are ending our contract, and the contract's been going on for a long time. This isn't just one-off contract going for a year. This is, you know, millions of years we've been at this for. It's a long contract, and I've not been paid yet. So because of that, you know, it's how we are. And Father's right. I already know where I'm going. I already know my next mission. We are in service, and I don't think there are some of you who understand that word, and some of you really don't understand it. We are truly in service. And what that means is bringing all aspects of your soul. So every aspect of my soul is up to Father to pick and choose what he needs to develop a particular type of consciousness or creation in, or moving a planet a little bit forward, or the species on the planet a little bit forward, or for me to add a little bit to the universe, whatever it might be. It's basically using the toolbox that is my soul for whatever he needs, you know, and adding it to others if he needs to, which happens a lot. And so we are kind of co-creating, co-collaborating together. So we are in service. There's no question about that, you know. And so, yeah, once our experience here is done, I've got to go to a very brown planet. That's all I know, and that's all I want to know. Doesn't look very appealing.
That might be already a lot. How did, again, do we want to share, how did we came into contact? Because we were not aware about one another.
So for some time now, I've been looking for another person to do QHHT in person. So a very good mutual friend of ours, Jo Wong, she introduced me to Federico, and I reached out, and we connected in this way. And so the most important bit of this was handling, as you said, Father's kind of vibrational frequency, and Meti's is really powerful. You feel it within yourselves. We're not just sharing vibrational frequency with you, we're changing you, as your guides are probably asking us, or as your soul is asking us. We're changing you while we're talking to you. Now, I'm not aware of it because I don't need to be, but they are aware of it, and they know exactly what it is they're doing. So that is definitely something that happens during this. But also, the biggest part of it can be very overwhelming, as you know. You felt the energy today, and it's like it makes you feel dizzy, it makes you feel sick, it makes you feel all these kind of things if you had like too much energy going on. So, you know, all of that can have such a big difference in regards to, you know, doing these sessions. And I can't believe it's 4 hours, like just under. That's just.
I want to add to like really the fascination of how everything was orchestrated. Shout out to Jo. Actually, what we were saying just before when I arrived, I haven't had the pleasure to meet Jo in person.
Oh,
Jo knows Leanne, which is a very dear friend of mine.
Yeah.
And when they say you never know who's watching, some of you may know I have been doing QHT, but also sharing automatic writing messages that lately, it's been such a month.
Yeah.
Lately the Pleiadians and Ashtar Command have been passing through. And so you never know who's watching, who is linking you with someone else. Yeah. But
and you know, it's so important that we do this. As you know, there's a part of me that doesn't want to do it, but there's also a part of me that knows I have an obligation to do this and follow this through. And I also feel the more sessions we do, the stronger this is going to get, and we're going to step quickly into a hypnotic or hypnosis state, and we're going to be able to, I'm going to be able to step aside and just allow this information to come forward as it needs to be, rather than like sitting and observing and, you know, and trying to get this really brain to think about things, you know. So
absolutely. And just to brief, because there's been sort of this sense, if you watch through, that there's going to be more to come. The way I've been giving instruction just before coming here today was through channeling and automating writing. So I have a sense I have no idea what's going to come through. I had no idea of what was going to come through. Snoopy's so sweet. Or what was going to come through today. But nonetheless, this is where, if you were sharing about being at service, I remember seeing these words and like making, it's not necessarily to someone, but within myself, and having that conversation with God and saying, if these things happen, I'm at service. And then, as Metatron was saying, you will be tested. And sure, it happens for the past few years. And then things continue to, so there is that sense like the human could not make sense. They were telling me, grow, prepare your channel. And for months I've stayed back and didn't do anything. So but that person is doing that much better. My voice is not needed. And then I had to go into what I say to other people. Your message is still valuable. You're still needed. Doesn't matter what you have a way that only you can bring the message forth that someone else needs to hear. And so I had to step back and allow that self-compassion and eventually take tiny actions, and then this came through, which is much bigger than what I could have expected. So we will be sharing these and other messages to come forth. Please, if you have questions that you would like to be asked, I'm sure God, Metatron, and who to come forward will be very happy to integrate those messages. I'm going to write my email and contact down below. Would you be willing or happy to share any contact as well? Okay, we will. And if you want to ask any questions so far, you can connect by Instagram or Lifting Consciousness Academy. The email is the same, liftingconsciousnessacademy@gmail.com. Whether you want to book a session or just for any question, bring forth your questions to Father God and Metatron for our next one.
Absolutely, yes. Isn't that going to be fun, eh?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, take care.